It's the cold hard truth. Everyone really want to know what's going on with her show. Just get on the air and you will know it's Sandra. The queen of the mile road is here, helping people from everywhere. Get on the phone and you will hear Sandra. Now she will tell you how it goes. Now don't you ever step on her toes, 'cause you will hear the cold hard truth from Sandra. They say she's the hero in town, helping people from all around. You get a call, your money is found, it's Sandra. Some will call her late at night just to say that there is a fight, and she will not just leave it alone. She'll get up and call on the phone, and when politics starts on her show, everyone really wants to know the way the things will really go with Sandra. And some will start to criticize, get on the show and tell pure lies, but someday we'll realize it's Sandra. And when they start to argue again, she'll pull the heads to the wind, and soon you will be a friend of Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone wanna hear from Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone wanna hear from Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone got to hear from Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone got to hear from Sandra.
Good morning, K-Man. Happy Friday, part 1. It is Thursday, November the 13th. I kind of feel like this is it. We're getting into the holiday season now. I hope you guys are having a fantastic week thus far. And yes, good morning to one and good morning to all. I don't know what's going on with Instagram. I'm still struggling with Instagram. So I am a little bit perplexed. I don't know what's going on. So I'm going to try something new here in a second. But yeah, no clue. So Instagram folks, join us on YouTube instead, I guess, until we can figure out what's happening over there. All right. Other than that, though, we are live on Facebook, YouTube, the website, cmrtv.com. which we have so much work going on in the background, getting all of our content creators up and going here shortly. I'm so excited. They're excited. Everybody's nervous, but we're going to really make a go of this in a big way, bigly way. Ay. So, I'm pleased to say that things are coming along. There's a lot of things on the technical side that, are important. So those things we work on silently, sort of, to make sure. We've had an increased traffic on the website. So what that means is we're actually upgrading our servers to servers that can handle a bit more. Not just the traffic, but video content requires a lot of resources. So we do it slowly but surely. One day at a time, sweet Jesus. Remember that song? I'm sure your aunts and grannies used to play that song, and you're probably familiar with it. I feel like it's a life philosophy, just one day at a time. Yeah, we will get there. Surely. All right, so we've got some guests that are going to come on. A good feel-good story about helping Jamaica, but oh my gosh, there's so much going on there. I just see Buju Banton posted something. I cannot share that on radio because let's just say that he did not mince his words. I'd have to tell Offray, go call Buju. They're like, we heard profanity. No, don't call me. Go call Buju. Buju said it best. I'll post it on social media because there's certain things you just got to hear raw. We can't be prettying it up here on the show. But needless to say, the thievery is happening left, right, and center. And Buju's not happy about it. So he's gone to social media to express himself in the most honest way possible. Honey chill. Buju's like, what's wrong with my Jamaican people? Y'all are so blah, 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 blah. Pop off some words. I was like, OMG. It's so sad. The worst part is, quite frankly, what will happen is it's only going to slow down the help to the people that need it the most. All this thievery and bad behavior. Come on, Jamaica. Don't. Lord, I don't even know what to say. It's like, don't prove the naysayers right. That y'all can't even form a line and behave when it comes to handing out goods and stuff like that. Show them that you are better than that, especially in times like this. But it's always the bad apples, right? So I don't know. I don't know what to say. It's a hot mess, quite frankly. Anyway, I'm contemplating what could be going on with Instagram. I might have to reset like passwords and stuff like that. I'm not really sure. I don't know. This one is defying logic a little bit. And it's just not flowing. Did y'all get that? Logic and flow. By the way, thanks to Flow for a toll-free number. If you're a Flow customer, did you know that if you call the show, it's absolutely toll-free? You no longer have to pay for that. I think that's amazing. Thank you. We begged and pleaded and beat up everybody for that toll-free number. Not really. Ronaldo eventually just got it sorted for me. Bless his little heart. He's one of those old souls that has been at Flow for a very long time. Yes, thank you so much, sir. All right. In the meantime, I've been reading some very, very interesting things as of late regarding, I see the website has an error. Uh-oh. I know our web guy is working on it. Hold on. Let me, no. Let me send the alternative link to my guests. That's probably, they're not going to be able to get in without that. All right. Give me 1 second. Let me get in the email. Yeah, because he's in the middle of doing something with the server. He did say that might be a few little issues. But don't worry, we got a backup plan. You always got to have a backup plan, right? Okay, honey chill. Let me just see here now. Let me just send this to our guests. Okay. Yes, mamacita. Okay, very good. So yes, we have a few things happening here. Oh, I forgot to send out the link. Let me do that. permit me to do that, please. Permiso, permiso. Okay. So, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I've been working on a few research stories as of late, just really for my own knowledge and understanding. There's a couple things that I, like to stay on top of. You have to. We live in a world where information is fast and furious, and there's just so much out there. Sometimes it's difficult to decipher what's what and what's going on. And so I try to specifically break it down for myself, And so sometimes I have to go kind of a bit deep into the research that I do and the information that the sources that I use. Yeah. So I like The Economist. I've been into them lately, reading quite a bit of what they have to share. They had a very, very interesting one about childcare that kind of surprised me a bit, to be honest. So I thought to myself, that's interesting. Sometimes it's food for thought. You gotta go with the flow. And you've got to look at, when someone says something, where did they get that information from? What are they, what are they basing that opinion on, if you will? Because it's really, really quite interesting when they draw certain conclusions, but you've got to understand how the conclusion was actually drawn. So that's important. Really, really important. So I'm doing a few of those pieces now. Education is always near and dear to my heart. Personal reasons for sure. And then just as a country, like if there's one thing we can get right, it has to be that, because then everything else naturally flows from that, right? Including, healthcare and everything else. So let's focus on education, I say. Yeah. All right. I think what I might have to do with Instagram is I may have to just log out and log back in. I don't know if that's going to help. But Instagram seems to be stuck. All right. So yeah, I saw interesting. Okay. So I saw an interesting, a very interesting article on diet and stuff as well in relation to cholesterol. So I'm going to share that with so with a few of my friends who are watching their cholesterols, especially. All righty. Brilliant. Okay, so let me do this. I think I am going to log out of Instagram, and then I'm going to try logging back in to see if that resolves this issue. And if it doesn't, I'm a little bit perplexed. Okay, let's try that. I mean, that could be, it's kind of like a reboot, restart. When you have IT issues, sometimes that's the best you can do is just restart it. And then let's see what happens. Okay. Yeah. I mean, we don't have tons of people that watch on Instagram, but I feel like, I don't want them to be left out. So it's good to have them there. Hmm. Okay. Instagram isn't letting me log in. This is weird. Okay. Let me see. Let me see what's going on. Oh. Huh. Okay. Oh. This is weird. Trust this device. Okay, enter the code. So it's going to text me a code. Oh, something weird is going on here. For sure. I just got a text message. Let's try that. Let's try that and see what happens. Okay. We got back in. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. The Epstein emails about Trump are flowing. Wow. We'll have to get into that a bit later on, but gosh, that's making the news literally all over the world right now. Pretty interesting stuff. Okay, let me just try getting our Instagram feed up again. Good morning, beautiful Nichelle, Mr. Worms. I see you both. Just give me 1 second here. And we're going to try to see if we can get Instagram going yet again. All right, Jasara, good morning. Emma, so good to see you guys. Thank you guys so much. Luna Leah, good morning. Blessings to you. So we're going to talk about, I see you, Miss Marjorie. So good to have you here. We're going to talk about a few things this morning with Caribbean Utilities Company. I appreciate them coming on the show, keeping us updated on all of the amazing things that they are doing. And one thing I must say about CUC is they have a reputation for really giving back to the community. And, we see a lot of what they do, but I feel like sometimes we don't see a lot of what they do as well, because low key, they sponsor groups and individuals and they just do like a lot. I was telling Nichelle the other day with the CMR TV coming online, CUC really should think about having their own show, because then they could really focus on so much of the community work that they do, because that community work is really important. Like, sponsoring our kids with like football and other activities. They give out scholarships. I mean, they're really on top of quite a few things in the community. And of course, we saw early on that after Hurricane Melissa hit Jamaica, CUC was one of the first entities that said, listen, we are here to assist in any way that we can. And in the past, they've gone to, areas that have been impacted by storms, and they have done a phenomenal job of, just ensuring that they get the help that they need, because they need it. This hurricane took out a lot of the island's power, and slowly they're trying to do some restoration work. And being so close, I'm just really, really proud that CUC is able to assist, because, guess what? This is what they are known for. And I think as a country as well, what we as Caymanians have a reputation for doing. So let's go ahead and welcome them into the studio. Everybody give them a big virtual applause this morning. We have first up, Miss Michelle Scott. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. You look well rested. I think maybe that's the Cayman Brac breeze.
Yes, it was.
Or I should say heat, because wow, Cayman Brac is hot on another level.
But this weekend.
Really?
Oh, it was amazing. It was really good. So everywhere
Yeah.
we went, there was a lot of breeze, and it was just nice to be out. But I think we're
Okay.
entering that time of year, right?
Yes.
Christmas breeze is here.
Oh yeah. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. Well, it sounds like you had a wonderful, it was for your birthday, right? As I recall.
Our anniversary.
Anniversary. There we go. All right.
Mhm.
So happy anniversary.
Thank you.
And yeah, absolutely. So good to have you back on the program. We're going to get to your segment a little bit later on, but we're going to welcome Mr. Robert into the studio. Robert Worms. Let's go ahead and pull him in. Good morning, sir. So we're going to talk about, I saw you had your camera on. If you want to turn it back on, that's fine for us. We're going to talk about CUCs assisting Jamaica. First of all, I think this is Robert's first time on the program. So let's talk a little bit. Yeah, welcome. Let's talk a little bit because he's actually the director of energy delivery. I don't even know what that means. So perhaps we can start out by getting an idea, Robert, of what energy delivery is exactly. What does that mean?
Hi, morning, Sandy.
Morning.
I hope. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you just fine.
All right, because it's coming in and out for me. Nichelle, this is my first
Oh.
time, as you know, and Nichelle has
Yes.
me streaming from my cell phone, so I'm trying to get the best signal until I can sort out the Wi-Fi.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, we can
So
hear
you
you.
can hear me okay?
Yes. Yep, I think we can hear you.
Okay, good. Yeah, I think I heard, was there a question on what's energy delivery?
Yes. Yeah, you're the director of energy delivery, so most of us have no clue what that means.
Okay. Yeah, energy delivery. So we have energy supply and energy delivery. Basically, energy supply is the generation side of things, and energy delivery is the transmission and distribution. So everything from the substations all the way on the transmission and distribution network down to the customers.
Okay. All right. Yes, that's pretty straightforward, but a
Okay.
very, very important job, no doubt. So you then would be part of the team. Are you spearheading the efforts to assist Jamaica in, them recovering and sort of, I mean, I know it's a long road ahead, but them recovering their power and restoring power to as much of the community as possible?
I'm so sorry it's coming in and out for me. I might need a couple of minutes to sort my Wi-Fi, but I think we're on the topic of assisting Jamaica with
Yes, we are.
Yeah. So yeah, we actually have a team there that arrived on Tuesday.
Yes.
We for the first time we sent some vehicles actually because we last year we assisted Jamaica after Hurricane Beryl,
Mhm.
and that it's in a similar area. That was quite challenging, not having vehicles and equipment, and just the mayhem that was on the ground. So this time we were lucky and fortunate enough to send some of our equipment in advance.
Mhm.
Those left on Saturday. They arrived on Monday. The team arrived on Tuesday, and they were only able to clear the vehicles yesterday. But
Mm.
they have them now, so they're actually going to be stationed in Montego Bay. They arrived there last night. I think they have their safety orientation this morning, and then hopefully we can sort some materials and start to rebuild.
Right. Now, did you say that you actually sent equipment ahead of the storm? Did I hear that correctly?
Mm. It was ahead of the team.
Oh, ahead of the team. Oh, my apologies. Okay. All right. Yes. Okay, that makes
Sorry,
sense.
I'm missing it a bit, but the equipment went ahead of the crews. Yes, the equipment last Saturday arrived
Mhm.
on Monday, and our team arrived on Tuesday this week. Yeah, 2 days.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And let's talk a little bit then about what you anticipate, ahead. I mean, obviously being hit by a category 5 storm is, we can understand what that does on so many fronts. But what is involved in the preparation for you to be able to provide assistance for disaster restoration? So let's talk about, for example, some of the logistics, the team training, equipment gathering, coordination with authorities. If you can tell us a little bit about that part of it.
All right, I'm gonna take a stab at that one. So this one is quite unique. Obviously, us ourselves were watching the storm. We didn't know if it was going to come our way, so we were preparing quite a bit as we would normally do all season. But in particularly for this storm, I think most of us were very concerned that we could have been impacted. So we were quite prepared from that standpoint. But as we realized it was going towards Jamaica, we were pretty sure that we would be one of the utilities requested to assist, and of course we stood ready to do that. So we started to reflect on the challenges last year, some of the lessons learned, how we could improve things a bit, and that's where the vehicles came into play. We're also going to be sending some poles. We have a number of poles that are we've changed our standards a bit to improve our wind resistance. So there's some poles that we don't use as often. We're going to donate those, and we'll try to have those shipped over. Getting poles in the ground typically is the backbone to any recovery. Without poles in the ground, nothing really can be done. So that's really the Achilles heel. So we sent one of our best digger derricks as well, and one of our best operators to ensure that we can get poles in, we can get materials. Oftentimes, if materials aren't readily available, the crews end up going and salvaging, going through what materials are on the ground to save what could be reused and so on. So yeah, that's some of the ways we did our safety briefings, pre-training. Got our climbing gear out. We don't climb as much here, but we have a team that's well trained for that, and we go through the refreshers before they leave. Ensure their boots are in good condition, their spikes, all their equipment.
Yeah. And where do, obviously the hardest hit area in the kind of, Mulbay, Westmoreland area, a lot of structures were damaged as well. So when you send a team like this, where do they actually stay? Like, how do you arrange that sort of, because that's got to be challenging as well.
Yeah. So the West Coast was hit pretty hard last year with Beryl. They were on the south side, but now Mulbay and everyone else is fairly bad. In this instance, there's a lot of other utilities assisting. I think Jamaica had maybe 80 contract workers into the storm. The situation now, as I understand it, particularly the entire West Coast is without power, including Vega Bay and the areas where our teams will be working. But there's, I believe, only 2 hotels that are operational with generators. So our team, as well as all other utilities and some of the essential staff and whatnot, are based between these 2 hotels for the time being. Our role in this may be to rebuild the transmission network to begin getting power back to those hotels.
Right. Yeah. And how long is your team expected? Because I was looking at, I got some pictures yesterday, and I was looking at the team, and one of the things that occurred to me is it's quite a number of people. I know obviously CUC is a large company, but how long are your team members expected to actually stay in Jamaica? And will you have some people come and then others return? Will there be a constant flow of your workers in and out?
Yeah, so at this point, this cohort is we've agreed to stay until the 12th of December.
Right.
We can have them home for Christmas. Give them a rest, and then we haven't fully decided yet, but we have other team members ready, and I'm sure some of these who may wish to go back in the new year for a second round. But at this point, we're there until the 12th of December.
Yes. Yeah, because there's also the sort of contingency part of it where you can't send everyone. You've got to think about, well, we're still in hurricane season. We see these late storms becoming more and more frequent. So in the event that something was to happen here, we've got to have, sufficient staff on hand to be able to handle any sort of emergency situations here as well.
Absolutely. And we have a lot of essential work on the go as well. that needs to be completed. So, there's a balance there between how many we can send and what we can preserve for transport.
All right, we've got some comments coming in, so let's read a few of these. Good morning, Jeffrey, and everybody else. We've got over 230 folks on the live stream. Miss Marlene says, good job, Mr. Worms and CUC's team. Johan, good morning, Johan. Johan says, big up CUC for keeping the lights on in Cayman, providing a first world service and trying to help with the disaster in Jamaica. KK says, job well done, CUC, as usual. And Anthony says, will this secondment be at any cost to the Cayman consumers? Where's this cost coming from? So, Anthony, thinking about the bottom line here, yeah. Okay, let's answer the question, Robert. How do you, when you guys help in situations like this obviously comes at a cost. Nothing's free. You're going on a Cayman Airways jet. There's accommodations costs. There's, obviously you have to compensate these guys in terms of, I guess, travel, I don't know, vouchers or whatever. But, is this something that you're going to make consumers pay for? I couldn't imagine that that's the case.
Yeah, no, I don't think the way the operational cost for this is treated, it goes into a rate base. Don't quote me on that, but I think I'm pretty safe in saying that. The good news with these endeavors is, so we're coordinated through CARLEC, the Regional Association of Utilities. CARLEC covers certain portions of the cost. I think they cover the per diem for the cruise. They usually assist with flights, I believe, as well. But in this case, we partnered with Cayman Airways, and Cayman Airways covered all the tickets as well as the baggage and so on. JPS, I believe, the local utility in Jamaica, they handle the accommodation. So for the most part, we're just paying the salary for the team.
And the shipping cost for the vehicles. So
Right.
if I can jump in and just touch on that. So it is a good question, and Robert and I were discussing whether that would come up. So we do have funds allocated for donations, for community service, etc. And sometimes when something like this happens, it means a little bit of rejigging in terms of where those funds go. So it's not passed on to the consumer. But what we also really want to point out is that CARLEC is there for us in these instances as well, in a similar way. So, for those of us who do remember Ivan, who were around for that time, we had similar crews coming in to assist us. So it's all about give and take, right?
Yeah. No, and I mean, listen, like I said, we've needed assistance before and we have gotten it. So sometimes, Anthony, it doesn't quite come down to money like that. You've got to be good corporate citizens, because you never know. Next year it might be our turn, and then CARLEC has to, and maybe Jamaica and other teams have to come in and assist us as well. So KK is asking, where would they be in Jamaica, Brownstown or Mobay? So I know the options, like you said, are very limited in terms of where your guys can stay, but are they specifically in the Mobay area, or, where exactly are they stationed?
Sorry, that's a question for me. I was missing.
Yeah. So they, KK is just asking, where would they be in Jamaica? Are they going to be Brownstown or Mobay areas? I know you mentioned that basically there was only 2 hotels that can accommodate you guys, essentially.
Yeah. So they're I think they're at Iberostar, to be specific, and they're working in the Trelawney area.
Okay. Right. All right. People want to know details, my dear. James says.
So if anyone sees them on the road, I'm sure they'll be visible. If you're able to stop some greetings, that really goes a long way when you're working long hours, 7 days a week in harsh environments.
Absolutely. So James says, thank God for all of you. Patricia says, thank you, CUC, for your help. God bless your team. Strong Will says, CUC to the world. Good job. KK says, that's good. So KK says, yes, we did it. They were good workers too. So Anthony is really fixated on cost here. He says JPS is struggling financially and in big debt. So tell us a little bit, Nichelle, about the regional organization, CARELEC, because maybe this helps to understand how the Caribbean as a region is strengthened by being part and members of CARELEC and how you guys help each other out.
Sure. So it is an organization where various members, various utility companies within the Caribbean are members. And the goal is to piggyback on not only resources, but also knowledge. So there are multiple conferences held on different topics in terms of things like metering, the way in which finances are managed, customer service, HR. The goal is to really build one another up and share that knowledge. And then in instances like this, which you hope don't happen very often, that support for one another as well. Because obviously this requires very specific training, very specific knowledge. So it can't be like all hands on deck from just the country. We can't make a call out for people saying, everyone who can help come do this. It doesn't work that way. So that way we're able to all pool our very carefully trained resources to come and assist in a time of emergency to move swifter for recovery.
Right. Okay. Let's talk a little bit, Robert, in terms of the working conditions. I know you made mention of the fact that, you're going to try to get these guys here back on island, ahead of the proper holiday season to spend that time with their families. But I can't imagine being in a disaster recovery zone is easy for anyone. Obviously not for the people that have gone through it, and now the recovery crews that have to go in and see that level of total destruction, really. How do you ensure that your guys are mentally okay when they come out of a recovery area, doing recovery missions and stuff like this, and that they're getting, adequate rest even while they're there? They're not burning themselves out. So let's talk a little bit about, these are some wonderful guys. We see a lot of Caymanian faces here. How do we ensure their safety, but not just like their physical safety, but their mental health and well-being as well?
Yeah, really good question. These conditions are never ideal, and while it's still early days, the word on the ground is that this is probably some of the worst conditions that they've had to be in. In many other instances, the damage wasn't as bad, and they've been able to stay in accommodations that actually have power, or they were able to restore power quickly, water, and so on. In terms of their well-being, so the two hotels I think are decent hotels from what I understand, but there's a lot of people, there's a lot of demand. So some of the teams are having to share rooms and so on. And I think they're also looking for Airbnbs and other options to expand the living arrangements. Otherwise, I believe we're promised 3 meals a day, food and water, all the essentials. From a safety standpoint, really all rules apply. While we do the orientation for the local utility, we have a good safety record. Knock on wood, while we do have incidents, we've never had an incident on a restoration recovery in the last 5 to 10 years, as long as I can remember. So usually there's a heightened awareness, but we follow our safety protocols. So each day starts with the job safety plan on site. There's a site assessment for the current conditions on the day of and all the variables that change. All our safety rules and our safety procedures are followed as if they were working here. Safety is number one priority. If we can't make it safe, we're just not going to do it. Plain and simple. And then in terms of rest, what we typically do is we try not to exceed a 12-hour working day, and we include at least one full day of rest. So the team typically decides, what day. Sunday is usually an ideal day, but depending on the working conditions and the variables around, it could be a day during the week. I think when we visited last year for Harold, Wednesday was a rest day, for example. But 6 days, and we do our best not to exceed a 12-hour working day. And
Very good.
that's why the time is also limited. It's hard to work in these conditions beyond 4 to 6 weeks really without having a break and doing a rotation.
Mhm.
And Sandy, you raised a really good question about mental health as well, because as you can imagine, some of
Mhm.
the things that the team may see or encounter, it may impact them and their mental health. And from that standpoint, the
Mhm.
company has in place a program that is titled "I Am Here," and that basically is about not only our team supporting one another and
Mhm.
providing individuals for our team to speak to, but also ensuring the team is aware of the resources available to them when they're going through difficulties. So we do try to address
Mhm.
um, mental health proactively throughout our organization before
Mhm.
it becomes a concern.
Yeah, no, yeah, I can only imagine the stress level of having to work in those conditions, and also knowing that people are relying on you, to try to get their power restored. Someone has a question that they've sent in on WhatsApp. They said, "Morning, Sandy. That's awesome news about CUC going to assist Jamaica. I presume that all the supplies your guest is referring to is what is required by the government of Jamaica." So, tell us, Robert, how you decide like how many poles are needed, what sort of equipment your guys are going with. Did the Jamaican authorities, I guess, whether it was like a regional thing through CARELEC, did they kind of say, okay, we know that we have 75% of the island without power, and in specific areas we're going to need this many power lines? Like, do you guys share and have that level of information available to you?
Yeah, there's a bit of that, and there's a number of discussions prior to us leaving. But
Hmm.
usually the data gathering and the planning is ongoing on a daily basis. I understand they have a 24-hour operation at the moment. So even in their planning team, they've organized 24-hour shifts. So for us, there's some essentials that have to happen, with overhead electric utilities. There's the poles that need to be planted in these conditions. If there's a lot of climbing in particular, especially if you don't have bucket trucks or trucks are not able to access the poles, so they have to be planted to standard, the proper depth based on the class. They need to be tested before we decide to climb them to make sure that they won't fall. But there's certain essentials: poles, wires, insulators, switches, crimps, conductors, those sort of things. So in terms of the equipment that we take our hydraulic crimpers, battery crimpers. We take the basic crimps that we would use for the size conductors that we know that are available.
Hmm.
So those are things that if you don't have them, you could have everything ready, but you just can't put it together. Um,
Hmm.
there's some basics, and we prepare for those, and then the rest is planned, on an ongoing basis. So we have a coordinator and our supervisor who would coordinate with the design team at JPS. They would plan the route in advance, and then our team would work to construct based on their plan. And we would have some input on standards and what we do as well.
Hmm.
Hope that answers the questions on that.
Yep,
And maybe just
absolutely.
to chime in, I don't think it's a matter of Jamaica telling us what to provide. They provide a list of what is needed, and then
Right.
our team, where we can assist, obviously provides resources from that standpoint. Just trying to make sure I interpreted the question correctly.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. All right. Fantastic. KK says, JA, got to get up real quick. They have to get back on their feet. And of course, that's the objective, is to make sure that they can supply the necessary service to their customers. Lavana, good morning. She says, so proud of Cayman CUC. You rock. Big up to Cal as well. So did you have partners, speaking of Cayman Airways, did you have partners that worked with you, perhaps such as Cayman Airways, to ensure that, like, how did you get, I mean, I know you didn't put power lines on Cayman Airways. They must have gone by boat. But tell us about some of the partners that you might have used to get like the equipment there ahead of the guys, as well as obviously Cayman Airways flew in with your members here, as we see on the plane steps.
Michelle, so
Yeah,
that
I can stand that one. So obviously Cayman Airways covered all of the guys' tickets and their luggage, which was absolutely appreciated. So first and foremost, really have to say thank you to them.
Mhm.
And then there's a lot of logistics involved, right? Getting the
Uh-huh.
vehicles to the port. Some of them are very large. Ensuring that there's proper licensing and inspection for their transport. So the licensing team, the government licensing team, was very helpful from that perspective.
Mhm.
And then also Seaboard Marine was also very helpful with helping to organize the shipping and really helping with the details that went into those logistics. If
Mhm.
I'm anyone, Robbie?
yeah, I would only add there's so many people involved in
Yeah.
this while it's happening. Hazard management,
Mhm.
Cayman Airways was even before we traveled. It was the first flight to go to Jamaica. There's all the donations that the government's doing. There's a multitude of things happening, not just PUC and being discussed all at the same time. I guess in our particular case, Cayman Airways was right there and was able to help us get there perfect timing to do what we need to do. They've always been a
Mhm.
big supporter. So yeah.
Yeah. No, this
So
is, I mean, it's fantastic. Yes, it's definitely a coordinated effort. So yeah, thank you so much for really stepping up and assisting where it's needed. And Michelle, like I mentioned at the onset of the program, CUC has, I'm going to tell you what France Manderson said, no more silent victories, right? So CUC does so much in this community that sometimes we don't really get to hear about. And so, of course, we welcome you guys to share more of the good news. It makes us all feel good to know that our utility company is, a top employer in terms of providing jobs for Caymanians, and that helps to support and feed Caymanian families. They tend to treat people right. I mean, I hardly hear of anybody wanting to leave UC once they get a job. They're there for life, kind of thing, which I think speaks volumes to how they treat their staff. And it's just amazing that you guys continue to be an integral part of the community. So maybe if you could speak a little bit about why CUC is just so dedicated to being a good corporate citizen.
Sure. I mean, we consider ourselves a part of the community. So it's just like neighbors helping neighbors.
Mhm.
So that's, in fact, our original thought process was to come on here and talk about customer satisfaction. How can we make our customers happy? Because as you know, that's an ongoing discussion that we're trying to have.
Mhm.
But then we realized that a lot of people wanted to understand what went behind the details of
Mhm.
the Jamaica assistance. So we asked Robert to join, and he's been so good and patient with me and setting him up on his phone. So thank you, Robert. Um,
Yes.
but really, our goal now is to be able to answer questions more often and really share some of what we're doing, so that one, we can get the feedback, because
Mhm.
maybe we can learn about other areas that we can help that we weren't aware of, and two, also so that we can understand, you know, whether individuals feel there's other avenues for help, or if there is additional maybe service changes that they would like us to make as well, because then once we start receiving feedback in one area, we receive feedback in others. So we're
Mhm.
just trying to open that door to communication between us and our community, our
Mhm.
customers, everyone, basically all of our
Mhm.
stakeholders.
Yeah. Well, we're going to keep you on if you're good to go. But I did want to again thank Mr. Robert. I just muted him because I was getting a little bit of buzz and I thought it might have been his connection. So next time we'll kind of get that sorted out. But we're going to just thank him and let him go. And then we also have a video from the mission that we're going to short video that we're going to play here as well. So let me just unmute you. Again, Mr. Robert Worms joined us this morning as part of the management team that is ensuring that everything is going really, really well there on the ground, as this crew, is in Jamaica now assisting. So, Robert, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Yep. Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure on behalf of the team. It's really nice to see and hear all the good comments. What I would ask, if I could, is that our team that are here working every day, you'll see them on the road. They're working with with a portion of their team missing, and they're doing their best to make sure that everything that needs to be done gets done and nothing gets missed. So they they deserve as much credit as the team that's went on the restoration.
Absolutely.
If there's any opportunities to show them some love, please do. Thank you so much.
Fantastic. All right. So I'm going to just pull up this this video here that we have that, again, is was shared on the social media page, but I thought was worth sharing this morning.
But when we're there, yeah, nothing nice like Jamaica. Roast breadfruit and banana. Under the tree with a glass of lemonade. Jumping at the river when me ready for bed. No boy can buy me out. Me no foreign minded, nowhere compared to Jamaica. Jamaica love, we wanna feel Jamaica love.
All right, folks. So just such a touching video here. Just reminding us that, in spite of everything, there is some regional unity, and obviously Cayman and Jamaica have very, very close ties, and we're doing our best to help Jamaica as much as possible. Anthony says one thing about CUC, it's always Caymanian faces being seen. You better believe it. 80-something%.
That's
Cayman
right.
Yeah, boy. One of the highest in Cayman for sure. And in case you missed the last interview that we did with Mr. Hugh, we talked about some of these things. So make sure you guys go and have a look at that interview, because it was very, very informational, informative. So Strong Will says, God bless you, Robert, and your entire team. And Strong Will says, "Aw, this is so awesome. Makes you all warm and fuzzy on the inside." So you're good to stay with us a little bit longer, Nichelle. I know you guys are super busy, but if you got some more time to spare, we can talk about some of the other stuff that we're going to discuss with you.
Sure. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but we did have a few other things we wanted to share. But like I said, I felt that Robert's team and what they were doing took priority, even over our other community events that are going on right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So you keep busy, as head of, give us your official title again. I think you've got 2 titles.
Yeah. So Director of External Communications and Customer Services, and I'm the CFO of our subsidiary, DataLink.
Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. So Nichelle and her team keep extremely busy. And so we want to talk about some of the customer service elements that you have been working on. So a survey is being launched. Has it launched yet, or it's coming? So tell us a little bit about the survey.
Thanks. Yeah, so it launched on the 11th. Anyone who received, so we don't survey all of our customers. We survey a portion of the customers, and it's a random selection. We do this around every May and November. So the questions will stay the same for around 3 to 4 years, and then we change it. And that's there's a reason for that, because we have to be able to compare progress in terms of the questions. But don't say, oh, well, I did it last year, so I'm not doing it again. Please do it, because nearly every question has an opportunity for a comment. And we read all of the comments, every single one of them. There's a lot. There's a lot, because there's usually about 2,000, 3,000 people that will complete the survey. And we read all of the comments. We get good feedback from those comments. Things like one you saw recently, Sandy, where we would like an app. See, get with it. We want an app. So we have been working on that this year. So we're hoping for that to launch early next year. But we listen. We read the feedback and try to incorporate it as well where possible, obviously.
Nice. Yeah, I always send, Nichelle will know, Shamari also knows this, any of our partners, when people send me feedback either directly or I see stuff on social media, I just screenshot it and say, hey, people are saying this, people are requesting an app, people are, giving feedback, because that's one way to certainly get indirect feedback as well. Because I find now that a lot of people, sometimes even before going to the source, they will just step up and comment on social media, put a question in a group or a complaint in a group. And so sometimes the individuals in the organizations themselves don't get to see that. It depends on obviously where it's at. So if I see it, I pass it along. So morning, Mr. Robert. Robert Ebanks joining us there. So this survey has gone out and people are getting it by email.
Yes. And I want to touch on what you just said there as well, Sandy. So like a lot of people we see a lot of the, I guess, negative on social media because that's human nature. People will typically maybe put a complaint when things are going bad, but when things are going positively, they'll more likely actually call the company directly to say, I really want you to know that you did this amazing. And so we actually get that middle ground or happy feedback through the survey process as well. Maybe someone is like, oh, I would suggest this, but I don't really have the time. But once they do the survey, we get that feedback versus maybe only what we see on social media. So it gives us a balanced level of feedback. And we switch to email because we find customers are more open when they're doing it online and not on the phone or in person, because you're not going to sit in front of someone and say, you really need to fix this. You might, but a majority of people won't, right? Whereas if you're sure that you're providing an anonymous response, you can be fully, truly honest. And that's what we want.
Yeah. Absolutely. Fantastic. All right. So when you get the survey, again, not every single customer is going to receive that, but please participate in it because your feedback is welcome and valued. So how will customers know if they've been selected? Well, obviously they'll get a message from CUC. And what does it say so that they don't think that this is somebody else trying to finagle them or something? Is there like a specific heading for the email?
Part of the reason we come to talk about it, because they actually get the email from us. They received the email from Savage Consulting. So we hire a third party to perform the survey, and there's a reason for that. We don't want customers to feel that it's not anonymous. So if someone else is doing it and guaranteeing that it is anonymous and they're handling the data, that removes that connection, right? We're only getting the results. We are not controlling who it goes to. We are not controlling how it's being done, how the report is being finalized. All we get is the end result. The consultant does everything else. So that's to create that fairness, that separation, and that transparency. So you will see an email coming from Savage Consulting and asking for your feedback in terms of CUC. So it's not spam. Don't ignore it, please. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. I'm checking my email now to see if I've gotten if I got anything. I missed it. I don't see anything. And then you know what? I always remind people to actually check your junk mail in your spam folder, because sometimes if you've not received correspondence from a particular individual before, that's where it's going to go. So I always periodically, at least a couple of times a week, because my spam filter seems to throw a lot of things in that folder. I will check it and make sure, but nothing for me. So I guess, are all the surveys out already? Like everyone who's been selected for this year?
Yes.
Okay. So I wasn't included.
Not this.
Maybe next time.
Yeah.
I get left out of a lot of stuff,
No, your turn shall come.
All right. So what sort of questions can consumers expect who are participating in the survey?
So things like when you last contacted CUC, how did you contact CUC? Was it by phone? Was it by email? So just trying to figure out what people's preferred option of contacting is. How was that experience? And then it gives an option for you to speak to that. And then things like, are you happy with our technology options, our online options? You know, we have a lot of online forms and services, things like My CUC, Quick Pay, just basically, are you happy with our payment options? Those kinds of things. Just trying to gain an understanding. And then there's open-ended questions as well, like tell us how you would like us to improve. So, and those comments are gold. Please, you know, fill it in. They're really helpful.
Yeah, fantastic. All right. Very, very good. So again, folks, CUC is doing their biannual customer survey, customer care survey, I guess, and they want your feedback. They want you to participate as much as possible. And what do you do when you get this, like, okay, this third party company collects it for you? Do they provide you with like a report, or do they give you the raw data? What then do you do with the responses that you've received?
So they give us a report summarizing the responses, but they also give us a separate raw data in terms of comments. So comments to each of the questions, if there's an option for comments on those questions. And that then that information is shared with our executive and management team, and everyone utilizes that in making decisions as well, in terms of understanding customer sentiment, as well as understanding next services, because we have a sustainable energy team that really looks at what new projects can we work on that will help the team. So the ones we've talked about in the past, like battery energy storage, or the increased fuel efficiency with upgrades to our units. A lot of that came from the feedback that, hey, we want lower prices, we want more efficient energy. So those projects were designed taking into consideration customer feedback as well as the goals of the organization. So the feedback really feeds into how we plan for the future.
Right. So everything from policy changes, tweaking your customer care and customer processes, operations, all of that.
Yeah. So if we hear, for example, you know, oh, we're not satisfied with, if we're seeing a lot of comments, we're not satisfied with service in this specific area. Then we look at that area. Does that need additional resources? Does that team need training? Or if we see, oh, we're so thrilled with the services in this area. Okay, what are they doing right that we can then put in other areas as well? Yeah.
Fantastic. Morning, Miss Lucille. I see she's joining us from the UK. If you have any questions about the survey, feel free to send those questions in to us. Yeah, if not, we're going to start to wrap things up here. Miss Michelle has been here in the program and has been very, very generous with her time this morning. Just checking to see if I had any messages coming in. Give me 1 second here. You know, we got multiple phones, so we're always having to check to ensure that we are grabbing all of that feedback here during the program. Fantastic. All right. Looks like everybody's good.
Good.
I don't see any burning questions coming in this morning.
I only had one addition. So I just wanted to share that we're at the Heritage Days this week for Pirates.
Oh, yes. I was going to see you were just at Northside on the 10th.
We were at Northside. We were at West Bay.
Okay.
Yesterday was Bordentown. I missed Bordentown. Sorry, I had meetings. Today is Georgetown. So we're there between 11 and 2 each day, and we're giving away Emporia devices to a few lucky winners.
What?
They're pretty pricey, but they do.
I know. We have one.
Yes,
so that's a great giveaway.
It is a great giveaway. So what it does is it connects to your electrical panel, and it will show exactly how much each appliance is using. Oh, so 40% of your electricity is coming from, I don't know, your deep freezer in the garage. That should not be the case, by the way. So if your deep freezer is doing 40%, there's a problem. But, but this is an example of the level of detail, and it comes. So there's an app you download. It gives you all these details. So we're giving away those at every Heritage Day. Go check us out. We're at each day between 11 and 2. So today's Georgetown. So if you're working in town, easy to get to. And tomorrow's East End. Yeah.
Yeah, so I saw this one here for Northside Heritage Day a couple days ago, and so you've actually got a booth there. And what's at the booth? I mean, I know you're doing giveaways and stuff like that, but can people also like get additional information, or what else are people able to do there at the booth?
If they want to ask questions, if they want information, the team has iPads with them so they can pull up any information they might need. Whatever questions the team might have, or customers, sorry, the team is there to answer them.
All right, fantastic. Now, I like what you've been doing with your social media lately, because one of the amazing things I saw was the fuel rates. A couple of days ago, you mentioned something about, manage your consumption. So you've shown the kilowatt. I'm going to just show this little graph here for September, October, and November, what the cost of fuel is, because a lot of people have this misconception that CUC is making a lot of money off of fuel when it's actually just a pass-through expense. In other words, whatever CUC buys it for, they pass it on to the consumer. But now you look like you're really trying to educate the consumer about what the rates are and how they're fluctuating, which I think is really, really important. So kind of break this down to us and why this initiative is so important.
So fuel is a huge portion of our customers' bills. That is something we're working towards. That's why renewable energy is so important to us, because that can really take out that large portion of the bill that is not controllable. And so just educating customers on how this fluctuates and how the fluctuation of fuel will really impact your bill, we feel is important, and trying to give them that notice in advance. So I was just pulling up the numbers really quickly. For our most recent rates, we're seeing a 9% reduction year over year in that fuel rate. That's massive. And the month before that was 13%. The month before that was 18% reduction. So just trying to show customers how this can impact their bills. And I mentioned renewable energy. We get the question all the time, why do I have a renewable energy charge on my bill? That's because we purchase power from the solar farm and people who have renewable energy at their homes, usually solar on their rooftops. We purchase that energy and sell it back to our customers. So the rate that we buy that at matters, but there's no fuel there. So if we can have large solar farms that provide energy at much lower cost than having to use diesel generators for all energy, this is where it really impacts the bill, right? So depending on the time of year, fuel can be anywhere from 40 to 60% of the bill.
Wow. No, yeah. I've seen it, because if I didn't have to pay fuel, I'd be happy. I wouldn't, my bill would be like nothing. I'd be like, it's like running to the grocery store real quick.
But those generating units can't work without the fuel, right? Of course. So that's why it's important that we make them as efficient as possible. So just like how for our cars, when we're buying a new car, we look at miles per gallon. So we're looking at how efficient can we make these units in terms of how many kilowatts they can produce per gallon, right? So same concept. And the more efficient our units are, the less cost it is for our customers.
And another thing that impacts, in a really huge way, what we see happening with our utility bills is the weather. So I like this October 2025 weather stats where you talk about what the maximum temperature is. It's still hot, 91.9 degrees Fahrenheit. Lord have mercy. It's still pretty hot in October, but we know normally around November, December into January, it starts to cool down a bit. But the average temperature and then the minimum temperature there, and this important note that October's average temperature was 84.8 degrees, and that was 1.4 degrees above the monthly 30-year average temperature. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So the past couple of years have been hotter on average than most years. And that impacts the amount of energy consumed because most people in Cayman use their AC, and your AC works harder if it's hotter outside. So it doesn't matter if your thermostat stays the same temperature all year round. The hotter it is outside, the harder your AC is working. So 70 degrees inside, which is not our recommended temperature. Our recommended temperature is 78 degrees. Allow me to do that plug. But if it's 90 degrees outside and you're cooling to 78 versus if it's 85 degrees outside and you're cooling to 78, big difference in amount of electricity that air conditioning is using. And that matters.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we see it here. It's like, yeah, look at that. And, we talk about things like global warming and, the temperatures every year setting new records, increasing. It's getting not just hotter in the summer months, but it's getting hotter all year round. And that's why we say things more like the late year storms happening. They're going to become more frequent. So, there's a trickle down effect in so many different areas when it comes to temperature and heat. And really understanding these elements, I think, will help people to understand exactly what is happening with their, utility bills and stuff as well. So CUC has a lot going on. We don't always get to touch on every single thing. You can certainly, folks, follow them on their social media pages. At CUC Cayman is their page for Facebook. And, they have a lot of activities that they're posting there. And then we reshare certain things as well. Someone was saying, I need that app, the CUC app or audit. So tell us how do people get access to, like, if they want an audit done, for example?
Okay. So if the first question was related to the Emporia, I would say visit our booth either today or tomorrow to try to win one. But if not, they're also available on Amazon. But I will say to you, it has to be installed by a licensed
professionally. Yeah.
It cannot be installed by us as people who are not licensed in that area. Okay. So just wanted to make sure I added that in there. In terms of if you have a huge discrepancy in terms of your electricity, and for us, we can see trends and we know we'll follow temperature impact as well as fuel impact. So sometimes customers may see a jump in their bill and they think it's a lot, but it's very much temperature or fuel related. But if we see a trend that is that doesn't look appropriate, we do offer to come out and view the property. We found different issues. A lot of times it's an AC that's not working properly. It will shock you how much that will impact your electricity bill. Or pool pumps. Pool pumps are the second largest culprit. So a broken pool pump will impact electricity costs quite a bit. And then there are other appliances. As appliances start to die, and we know, well, a lot of times we know, like right now, my fridge, I don't know why, but it's just, leaking water. So I know I have a limited time, but usually as we see those appliances start to give more and more trouble, it's an indication that they're also operating less efficiently. And sometimes you're thinking you only have the melted ice to deal with when actually other bigger items are starting to fail and it's using more electricity than it should. So we do. So basically, if you reach out to us and email service@cuc.ky and say, hey, I have a concern, is an audit possible? We can't grant all audits. So typically what we'll do is review the consumption and see whether it's in the normal range or not. If we do feel it's outside of that normal range, then we say, okay, we can see something's wrong here. Let's see what we can do to assist.
All right. Very good. Well, thank you so much, Nichelle. We're going to go ahead and let you go. You've been always just, breath of fresh air and a wealth of information. And some people are asking me about the Emporia system. I can talk about it a little bit because we actually have one. So I can give you guys some firsthand knowledge and experience. Do you have one, Nichelle? Are you guys using one?
I do.
Okay.
So awesome. I try to test everything before we suggest it to customers because I want to make sure that it is a great product and something that we like to recommend.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you very much. All right. So we'll see you probably next month sometime. I'm sure right before the holiday season. So until then, Thank you so much and have a fantastic, well, what's left of the week? It's only one more day, but hey, have a fantastic weekend. And hopefully you get to enjoy some of the Pirates Week celebrations and Heritage Days.
Thanks, Sandy. Same to you and same to everyone. Bye.
All righty, folks. So again, big shout out to CUC. Let's play that video again. That was such a nice, beautiful video. I love it.
But when we're there, nothing nice like Jamaica. Roast breadfruit and banana. Under the tree with a glass of lemonade. Jumping at the river when me ready for bed. No boy can buy me out. Me no foreign minded, nowhere compared to Jamaica. Jamaica love. We wanna feel Jamaica love.
All right, folks. So I love that. That's just such a nice video. Aw. Makes my heart all warm and fuzzy inside. I feel like the what's the little Christmas guy name that was trying to steal Christmas? And then, at one point his heart just gets all warm and fuzzy. So thank you so much for joining us for this segment, folks. We always appreciate CUC's continued commitment to engaging with the community and really just valuing your feedback through their latest survey. Remember, if you get the email to participate, it's a vital, you are important to sort of shaping the services that will impact all of us, the policies and so on. And a special thanks as well to Mr. Robert Worms for sharing insight into the hurricane restoration work in Jamaica. The expertise and support extended by Cayman's teams certainly demonstrate real regional solidarity in times of need. And trust me, we know what it is to be in need ourselves. So we encourage everyone, as always, to stay engaged, participate in community consultations like the CUC survey, and to keep informed about the work that is happening right here, both at home and across our 3 beautiful islands. Your voice and our collective efforts truly do make a difference. Yes, he is called the Grinch. Honey chill. The Grinch got all warm and fuzzy on the inside, and then he became a totally different person. All right. Yeah. Okay. So let me just see here now. Thank you, Miss Dean. St. Clair says, thank you, Sandy, for that big tune. Bop, bop. Diana, good morning. Says, thank you, Cayman, for all the help offered to Jamaica. I love our beloved Cayman Islands. Thank you so much. There is, unfortunately, amongst all of the positives, Strong Will says that makes me feel like crying. Aw, you see what happens when you get all warm and fuzzy on the inside? Of course, we love these feel-good stories, and we love the fact that, different entities in our community are stepping up to assist. Dean Sinclair says, for real, me love me Jamaica, right? But, honey child, some not so good news coming out of Jamaica right now as well. Buju's upset. We're going to play the Buju Banton interview or social media share. I'll have to play it for 9:30 because I don't have no time to be trying to try to block out every word. The man is pissed off. So what can I tell you? He's straight up Jamaican. He is pissed, and he did not mince his words. So that's not radio ready. So we will play that afterwards. 9:30. Once we're no longer on radio, we'll go into a little bit overtime, and I'll play the video in terms of what he had to say. He's not happy. And I can't blame him, because this is going to hurt all Jamaicans, so make the thievery stop, please, and thank you. Let's continue talking about a few other things in the meantime, in the interim. So you guys are asking about this Emporium system. Like I said, we here in our household have used it now for a number of years. The best person to answer these questions is actually Marlon, because he knows all about it. But let me see. Let me see if he's available. He's normally quite busy at work. He's a busy man. But let's see if we can call him. If we can call Sir Marlon. He always answers my calls because he's like, is it an emergency? But he's probably busy at work. Let me see. Some days he's like in meetings all day. Let's see if he has a few minutes to spare. to tell us about the Emporia system, but you can get them on Amazon. Hello? Hello?
1-800 man.
You're on a call?
Calling 1-800.
What am I calling? 1-800 what?
Mr. Lover Lover.
Mr. Lover Lover, 1-800. Listen, you have like a couple minutes to spare? Or are you super busy?
Quite bad.
I can't hear you. You got to speak up a little bit.
Not quite, man.
Not quite? Okay. All right. I wanted to ask you about the Emporia system. Because you're live on radio and some of the consumers wanted to know a little bit about it.
You don't call 1-800 Mr. Lover Lover live on radio, man.
Oh, good grief. Never mind, sir. Never mind. All right. Thank you. I will, folks, I will just do my best. He said, but you don't call 1-800 Mr. Lover Lover live on radio. I'll do my best to walk you guys through how the Emporia system works. So they have, let me just pull it over, y'all, so I can show you on Amazon, right? So they have a variety of different options that you can get. And I'm going to just do a screen share now. So let me just show you this. Yep. Okay. So you kind of have to, and if you have someone who's experienced in purchasing these or using these, this is where you want to maybe touch bases with them, because they have a whole line of like products and stuff within the Emporia ecosystem, so to speak, right? So they do have individual smart plugs. So you have to buy different things as part of the system. Here's the energy monitoring with 16 sensors and 4 smart plugs. This is a super bundle. So maybe that's not a bad deal. And then it comes with an app, and you can actually log in. Once you get the parts and the components that you need, you can actually then log in and see exactly what your individual appliances are using. So this is why this is really, really important, because, I know y'all be like, I don't be using no electricity, and CUC be stealing from us, and we don't know what's going on, and da-da-da-da. Well, this is a foolproof way to really see what is actually happening. Okay. So the Emporia View Home Energy Monitor allows you, the consumer, before anybody else. So CUC ain't got nothing to do with this, because it shows you the usage that is coming right off of your appliances, right? Whatever you have connected to it. So how it works is, like Nichelle said, you do have to have an electrician, and preferably someone who may have done this before, know exactly what they're doing. They're going to install this directly onto your electrical panel, right? And the View provides real-time insights into your home's energy consumption while serving as the foundation for the home energy management platform. So there's a lot of different little pieces to it. And so I would recommend, if you have, give me 1 second here. I'm going to try to see if I can grab a little link here as well. If you have, if you have ever wanted to know what is using the most electricity in my home, this is how you're going to figure it out. Okay, this is precisely what you need to know. And you can actually, as a result of that, tweak certain things then within your home. So for example, I was a bit surprised. I'm not surprised by the fact that we are high energy users. I mean, I kind of knew that, but what did surprise me was the fact that we actually, I have my computer here, which is the one that I use for live streaming and everything. This computer stays on 24/7. May not turn it off. Okay. And so I was really a bit surprised to see how much usage that actually pulls down. It's a lot. And, you know, a lot of us, you got kids, they're into gaming, this and that, and whatever. And you don't think about, oh, that gaming computer, not just when it's in use, but even when it is quote unquote sitting there idly, it's not actually idle at all. You know, the processor is still working to a certain extent. And so it pulls a lot of power. I was surprised that this was like in the top, maybe 4 or 5 appliances. I was like, what? I couldn't believe it. Yeah. So they have the app. They have, I'm going to see here if I can't remember if I have the login for this. Let me see if I can grab it from Marlon. Let me see. Because you can see, like I said, I want to show it to you guys because you can see it in real time in terms of exactly what's happening. So you get all of these different, you know, you get it to the panel. Here, for example, if you have an electric vehicle, they actually have the Emporia Pro Level 2 EV charger with Power Smart. Again, it will tell you how much that, you can kind of see the little app here, right? So it can tell you, like, you can set it, you've got management, like, okay, start charging at a particular time, end charging at a particular time. But then importantly, it's going to show you usage information, you know, a residential energy time of use, right? And of course, if you have an e-vehicle, you're paying for that. That's coming off of your electricity grid or the CUC electricity grid as well. So you can tell it, okay, charge during off-peak hours, but then it's still going to tell you, you would set it like, okay, this is mid-peak, this is peak, this is off-peak, but it is still going to tell you what kind of usage that specific charge, you know, your vehicle is costing you. Because you think, right, electric vehicles, the sell is you don't have to go to the gas station, but you still pay for it. You still pay for it, honey child, right? You just pay for it in a different way. It's going to be incorporated into your CUC bill. And so, but if you wanted to know versus going to the gas station, how much does just charging my car per month cost me? This Emporia charger would give you all of that information. So it is the power of having that knowledge readily available to you that is the most important. Let me see if I can pull in a quick video here. I was looking for some stuff on YouTube that might be able to help. Let's have a look at this one.
Every month, you pay your electric bill. But do you actually know what you're paying for? With the Emporia View Home Energy Monitor, you can know exactly how much energy your home is using at the circuit level in real time, helping you spot energy hogs and lower your bills. It even protects your home by letting you know when you've left your oven on, or if your sump pump has been running nonstop. The View also lets you automate other connected smart devices like Emporia EV chargers and smart plugs, saving you money, energy, and time so you can get on with life. The Emporia View Home Energy Monitor. Know more, save more, live more.
Mm-hmm. And so that's really what it's about. I mean, this is, you know, quite an amazing device in the sense that it gives you, the consumer, the power to like literally have that in your hands. I think I have the app on my phone. Let me see. Hold on. I normally leave that kind of thing up to Marlon, honey child, to monitor and stuff. I don't really get too deep into it, but I do know I have logged in before. And I was really shocked to see what my gaming system was pulling down. So what does that mean? Well, you know, for me now, say, for example, I'm traveling for the weekend. I think, okay, do I really need to have it on? I think carefully about that, because if I don't need to have it on, then I simply disconnect it. Shut the computer off. Here we go. I'm going to log in. Let's have a look at my real-time usage and stuff, because yeah, I mean, this is, you know, I'm always pushing you guys to like learn more, educate yourselves more, all this amazing stuff. But if you constantly stay in a place where you're like, oh, you know, cussing CUC, and you don't even understand why your bill is what it is, what your usage is like, why it's important to have high energy, high efficiency, you know, refrigerators and all sorts of stuff. yeah, you can't blame anybody else when you're refusing to educate yourselves and understand exactly what it is that you are using. And as she rightfully said, as certain things start to age, appliances, refrigerators, AC units, they become less and less efficient just the aging process. So let me just have a quick look see. I'm going to show you guys my real time. This is my house right here now. So I actually just saw as I logged in, see things are fluctuating in real time. You see the numbers moving. What? Oops, sorry. Why is the water heater not showing that it's connected? You see, I got to ask about that. Oh, but we have a tankless water heater, but I think that should still be that, and the ice machine don't show connection, but we got the dryer, which is going to be used today. That's only used once a week. So I think actually Miss Stacy's using it. She might be using it right now. First load in already. The washer's actually being used. Refrigerator. Water cooler. Which water cooler is that? Water cooler. Oh, the water cooler. Child, I be forgetting. Like, I have a water cooler. Yes, I do. I be forgetting what's in this house. Oh my gosh. So there's Sandra's PC. He has my PC on there. Shameful. You see, my PC pulling way more than his. I know. Isn't that crazy? I mean, his isn't on right now. Mine is, but his is 0.004. Mine is 0.349. But this shows you, yep, I'm up there. And when you compare that to everything else that's in use right now, sorry to say, but my computer seems to be pulling the most at the moment, even more than my dryer and washer. That's so crazy. Oh my gosh. What is this? The data room. Oh yeah, that pulls a lot. So we actually have a server room. So that pulls a lot as well. Wow. That's like 3 times what my little computer pulling. But of course, that's like tons of computers that has to be chilled at a specific temperature. But you see, you can add all of these things on here. So he has the wine chiller one. We have 2 little wine chillers, like little wine things, coolers, whatever you want to call them. So we keep like drinks in there for when we have company over and stuff, but they're always running. Data room rack, data room storage devices. So he has, he's organized it in a way that makes sense. Master bedroom charge station. We have a compost that isn't plugged in right now, apparently. Living room, front porch lights. So you can, divide it up by rooms. He's got, he has his car on here. Really? I was always curious to know how much we're really paying to charge that Tesla per month. So it shows you real-time usage, and then you have the option. So this is by the day. You can look at usage by the week, by the month, by the year. So my front porch left, these are the chargers. Oh yeah, you see them there? That's what you're really using for those EV chargers, honey child. Interesting. So he uses the left one more than the right one. Does that sound right? Okay. The data room, definitely a hog user. The wine chillers, let me see here now. Master entertainment, but there we go back to my computer again. Oh my God. So for the month, you can see the usage from my computer is a lot. 69.770 versus like some things are like 12, 11, 18. So yeah. So, if I could turn this computer off every single day, that would save a lot. I got to be honest with you. I don't really do it because when I jump into the studio in the morning, I got to be able to just fire up and go. But then yes, you have like reporting options, and you can have it like send stuff to your phone. You can schedule like device schedule to maybe shut things off. So it has a lot of, here's like the graph. So you can see your kilowattage unit, right? Usage, sorry. Monthly peak, 15 minimum demand. And then we've got real time, 9:07 a.m. Right now, this is what the house is using. And you can see it fluctuating. So, I can go back in time. And I'm assuming, let's go all the way back in the middle of the night. It's probably quite a bit less when everybody's sleeping, let's go. So, early morning, there's not a whole lot that's going to be pulling down anything other than like our central ACs and stuff like that. And, like I said, some devices are going to be on like all the time, really. But yeah, you can, like literally watch your peaks and valleys of your usage by the day, by the month, by the year, and so on. So it is helpful. It is helpful from the perspective that, how CUC sends you their little graph, 2024 to 2025. And this is by the year, right? December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. And you can see it. You can see December was heavy for us. All them Christmas lights and all that kind of stuff that be on, chill. But yeah, you can run reports by the month. You can run it by the year. You can do all sorts of amazing stuff with this. So check it out. You do want it professionally installed. That's the one important thing that I would say. And yeah, other than that, it's good. How much electricity did the TV use? Oh, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't really watch as much TV as you think. Let me see. Bedroom. We sometimes watch it at night a little bit. Oh, last night I started watching, Marlon noticed that there was some new episodes of The Witcher. So I did watch 2 episodes last night, but I hardly have time for TV. Like I turn on TV and I start to fall asleep. Master bedroom charge station. I think that would be like the TV and everything. Energy management, smart plug settings. Yeah, there's quite a bit that you can do for energy management. Let me see. Peak demand. You can tell it like excess solar, peak demand. There's so much that you can do with these things. Like they really are amazing, and they're meant to be integrated with a lot of different things. So you see here, you can actually put it on a schedule where you can cycle it like off and on. You can switch things on. So say like, again, at night, if I wanted to switch off my computer and then automate it where it switches on at a particular time. But normally because I got a lot going on with this computer. Child, I just leave it on. But the entertainment center, which would be kind of like the main one with the main TV in the living room, doesn't really have that much usage because we don't really turn it on a lot. We're more like on iPads and phones and stuff like that. So I don't really watch a lot of TV, to be honest. Anyway, get it. Get the system. I would highly recommend it. Yeah. Fantastic. Did you bring in the outdoor cameras? Bring in the outdoor cameras. Which outdoor cameras? Bring them in where? If they're outdoor cameras, they stay outside. Lucy, the time of Marlon is your match. He don't want to be on your mall road. No, he's just busy. He has a job and he takes his job very, very seriously. And a lot of times I call him, he's like, nope, can't talk to you, honey child. I'm working. Gotta, give the boss fair day's work. Thank you for all the love offerings. Came out, appreciate plenty of gratitude. Thank you, Miss Dean. All right. The house is at 10 o'clock today. Oh, okay. Honey chill. More drama. That should be interesting. All right. Boujou, I got my video ready for 9:29. So we can play that. Like I said, he is not happy. He's like, y'all pissing me off. Why the blouse and skirts I go on? Let me see. I'll have the video ready. Yeah. Okay. So we'll post it up on social as well, because I know some of y'all want to be watching it there. All right. Let me just have a look at what else we got going on here. I see. Boy, Amazon, their price has gone up. You know, they got paid for a fancy wedding. I'll be watching the fluctuation in prices. When something goes up and comes down, I need to know to see if it's in the budget. Interesting. All right, Christmas is almost here. The ones you were advertising for sale. Lights, cameras. Oh, the dash cams? No. I think that's the only thing I had for sale with dash cams, right? We always have those in stock. If you need one, by all means. Trust me, you need one. You see what's happening in Cayman streets. Good morning, Carla. Honey Chow. How you doing?
Sandra Lee, how are you?
Hey, I'm right here, buddy. How you doing?
I'm between fine and excellent as usual.
Well, that's good. I mean, you can't really complain about that.
Are you enjoying the nice weather?
Yes. I mean, I see a little bit more sunshine peeking through today, which is nice. But yeah, I mean, I try not to complain too much about the weather, you know?
Beats the heat, right?
That's right. Yep, that overcast. Although it's a catch-22. Because if you have solar panels, then those solar panels can't be charged for a couple of days. But it's also cooler, so you're going to use less anyway. So it's, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If it's cool enough, you don't need the panels, right?
Yeah. Hopefully you'll be saving some money. What's on your mind today?
What your friend, Mr. Brian Shields, what he's saying now?
You know what? I was actually just thinking that I needed to email him and maybe have him come back on the show, just do a little check-in with him. But, you know, things are kind of quiet. Things looking a little bit quiet in the tropics, and that's what we like to hear. So, I mean,
what about what I told you? What about I told you? What about that?
Which remind me of which one that is.
Mr. Shields came on with this doom and gloom information. Do you remember I called you and told you that we were going to be safe and clear? Or you don't remember that?
Well, I mean,
come on. You're not that old.
No. I mean, I'm a little bit confused when you say doom and gloom because I didn't see it as that. What I saw him saying was just basically be prepared because, like a lot of these storms, there's a degree of unpredictability, you know, within that cone. So better to be prepared than to be sorry.
Well, that's for sure. But I'm not trying to put him down. But you know what? We would be well advised to try to take information, not just from me, but older folks that know about weather conditions. Mm-hmm. You know what really helped us a lot? We had practically a young moon, okay? That has a lot to do with the steering of the winds and the weather, the rain, the sunshine. We were on the bottom line with the moon phases. If that had been full moon, we might have had a different scenario because your tides, everything go by the moon. So full moon is when even you get a higher tide. In young moon, you get a lower tide. Mm-hmm. But I just called to say, you know, well, I'm enjoying the weather. It's a nice day. And, you know, I can feel the Christmas spirit with all the shamrocks coming out and all the yellow flowers. It's just beautiful. Yeah. So
thank you so much. I appreciate it, darling.
Yeah, you have a good day. Thank you.
You too. All right, darling. You too. Bye-bye. So this person says large TVs and video game consoles pull a lot of electricity. And like I said, the beauty of the Emporia system is that you can actually, you know, shut things off because even though you're not using it, there's like a residual amount of power that is still being pulled by these things. So the idea is that's why you get those little individual plugs because then you can control those. And, you know, we have everything like smart connected here. So I can say to I can't call her name because then she'll start talking to me, but y'all know who I'm talking about. Her name begins with an ALE, that one over there. And if I say, you know, turn off living room TV or turn on living room TV, we're able to control that way as well. So yeah. All right. So good point indeed that yeah, these game consoles, gaming PCs, you know, larger TVs, we keep wanting larger and bigger things. Well, larger and bigger things come with a larger and bigger price tag for sure. All right, honey chill. Let me see here now. And apparently the government minister is even going to respond to what Boujou has had to say. What a mess. Oh, Jamaica, please get yourselves together. Lord God. All right. Here is let me see here now. Here. Yep. Tell my web guy, the website is down all morning long. Please fix it. Fix it, Jesus. You did tell me we wouldn't have much downtime. These technical guys. Half the time I'd be like, I don't believe you, for good reason. All right. Good morning, sis. What a lovely program. Love that song on the Unity. It made me cry. Aw. Tears of joy. Cayman has been good to me, and I always be grateful for becoming a Caymanian. Love you people from your Jamaican Caymanian sister. Thank you. That's so nice. Thank you so much. Not the dash cams, the outdoor security cameras. I was advertising them for sale? My own cameras? I don't think so. Maybe I mentioned it to you guys, but I'm not selling my own cameras on the chat. I need them. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Sandy.
Hello. How you doing?
I'm good.
Nice.
Just a question for your listeners and viewers to think about before you show that Bujubantan video.
Oh, yeah.
The question is, what did he went to prison for?
What did he go to prison for?
Yeah.
I can't remember, to be honest. I'd have to go Google it. What did he go to prison for?
He went to prison for trafficking drugs.
Okay. All right.
All right. So that's the question. Okay.
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 But how is that connected to people stealing stuff, that donations?
It's not well, that's his part also. And I would say, for me, if a convicted drug trafficker is sending something in my country, it doesn't matter what it is. It's gonna get inspected right down to the teeth.
Okay, all right. Stick a pin though. Let's be fair. This isn't about it getting inspected, and I'm sure that Boujou was leading a much bigger team of people, but this isn't about that. This is about people stealing stuff out of supplies that are needed for the community, and those hit the hardest. So it's not about the man that complaining about his stuff getting inspected, you know. It's about people actually stole stuff that they had for those communities.
Yeah, but yes, I understand all of that. But over 300 and had entities have donated containers with released stuff to the island already. And this shipment is the only one that I'm hearing.
Stick a pin. No. Let me put it this way. This is probably the one that is going viral at this moment. Okay. But I don't think that you can say that this is the only one that has gone missing, et cetera, et cetera. Most people not even, they're going to just say, well, you know, that's Jamaica. Most people are not going to bring it up. But because Boujou has such a wide audience, right? When he brings it up, when he says something about it, obviously everybody's going to know. But that doesn't mean it hasn't happened before.
That's true.
I mean, you're Jamaican, right?
Yes, I am.
Are you questioning and saying that your own people wouldn't steal from you?
No. I'm not questioning that. I'm not.
All right.
I'm surely not doing that.
Okay, so you know how it go, but the sad part, I think, is the fact that it's that it's happening during a time like this, because we know them stealing all that. Listen, if anybody can be creative when it comes to stealing, I've never seen anybody be able to do that like a Jamaican. I'm going to be very, very honest with you. I remember back in the day, let's step back in time. Remember when we shared an area code with Jamaica? And you used to be able to call and do like collect calling. I remember this because I used to do it with my dad. I was a poor university student, HL. So I had to call and say collect call. And the AT&T agents, I always thought it was strange. They never knew whether I was calling Jamaica or Cayman because we shared an area code. So they would say, which island are you calling? I'm thinking, well, can't you see that? No, they didn't have the technology to see that. But you know why we had to end up splitting and getting our own area code? Because Jamaicans had figured out somehow how to make collect calls and never pay for it.
Listen, we Jamaicans,
bright for all the wrong reasons, though.
When we do good, we do it
and when you do bad, you put in just as much of the same effort.
Yes.
Exactly. I mean, I didn't even know that it was a thing to steal copper, right? I remember the first time I went to visit, she wasn't my mother-in-law then, but the first time I met my future mother-in-law, they were saying that, the internet in the area was down again, blah, 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 because the Jamaican guys went and stole out the wiring. And I'm like, what do you mean? She said they steal the copper. They steal the fiber. I'm like, what do you do with fiber? Who steals fiber?
No, copper is very close to the price with gold.
Listen to me. They steal the fiber. They steal everything. Starlink right now, the government saying put your Starlink as high up as possible because they're going to go steal that as well.
Right. Let me tell you.
Lord God, Missy.
It's just hope that those who need the help get it.
Oh my God, it's sad. I mean, it is just sad. But yeah, I mean, we have to admit our shortcomings and our faults where they are, and Jamaicans are very, very creative when it comes to scamming and stealing from people.
That's true.
So it is what it is. It's just sad.
Okay.
Thank you, my dear. But yeah, I mean, I believe Bourgeois. I got no reason to think that he's been up to anything untowards, I mean, he's one of your own Jamaicans too. So, you gotta be able to trust somebody. But I think the way that he was so hurt by what has happened it's obvious that, this really did happen. So Jasmine is saying, not the only one, sir. You need to stop if you don't know what you're talking about. It's just sad, Jasmine. All of you. Jennifer says it happens all the time. People stole the things. Yeah. Lord God. Jasara says, sir, please. There are videos on TikTok from long before this happened. To Buju telling people that they were stealing from barrels. And again, this is why I caution you when you send stuff. And, I hear y'all say, no, Sandy, I know somebody. Even my husband, poor him, he was trying to get some of these solar battery things to his mother. Let me show you, because she had a generator, and you got to be careful because some people stealing the very generators now. Let me show you what I'm talking about. We had actually bought, what are these things called? They're like these portable power stations. Yeah, so there's a company called Jackery that has them. We had purchased some of these before, and they range in pricing depending on what you need it to do. Let me show you the page here again. So they can be very expensive. Like here's one that is actually $2,500, but this is the whole battery generator. So it's tiny, but it packs power. So this has a 3,600 watt power station output. It's completely portable. You can do home backup for power outages, et cetera, right? So that's the power one. But then they've got smaller ones that are a couple $100. And they come with like solar panel pieces and stuff. So the idea is you charge it during the day when you can get, and then you can help to charge like your smaller things. So these are good for a storm. If you, hurricane prep, get yourself one of these. Jackery is one of the better known brands, but there are other brands and stuff as well. Anchor makes their own version. Anchor is a very, very well-known company that makes charging bricks and that sort of thing. So we have 2 of these that we purchased, not these models, but we have 2 that we purchased in time, in previous years. We actually never had to use them yet, but he was trying to pack those up and send those to Jamaica. Well, Cayman Airways won't take it because it's a battery pack and you can't put that because of, all the safety regulations and stuff. You can't put that in a plane. And anyway, he was going to try and send it by boat. And I said, Marlon, do yourself a favor, because he is one of the most naive Jamaicans I've ever met in my entire life. He is just too nice and too naive. I said, do yourself a favor. Your mother will soon have power. Let her just rely on the generator for now. Because if you send these battery packs, you actually think that they're gonna get to her in Jamaica? I was like, child, please. They're gonna be stolen, and then you're gonna be all upset and demanding answers, because then he gets on his feelings. I'm like, yeah, those are your people, okay? Good morning, caller. What a hot mess. Hello, honey chill.
You heard about the lady who wrote Jesus, telling him that she needed $100?
No.
So she didn't put the letter in an envelope.
Oh.
So as it was going through the post office, the workers heard her, pleading to Jesus for all of this help.
Mm-mm.
So they felt so sorry for her that they said, let's put some money together and send it to her. So they came up with $90. And they wrote her back, thanking her for being such a faithful servant and, heard her prayers, loved Jesus.
Okay.
And she wrote Jesus back and she said, thank you so much. This was so helpful. But the next time, don't send it through the post office because they stole $10. I just thought I'd put a smile on your face for the day.
Lord have mercy. Yes. Thank you so much. What can I say? All right, it's 9:30. We're officially off air. Let's go ahead and have a go at it. Like I said, this is not the only time. It's quite it happens, and it's unfortunate. But let's hear what Buju had to say. Here's his video that has now gone viral around the world, so much so that even the government is having to respond to it.
Right? I think that nice. A whole lot of people up here, so Barrington flying, this plane come to Jamaica, come go to things and crash. So Barrington make 2 flights, them fly Monday and them fly Tuesday. 2 big rascal cargo plane. All if you know, say, when we open the package, everything tampered, everything, what I do, what do we really deal with? We can't continue, so. We cannot continue like this. It's painful. Because we're up on the battlefield, I'm on even yam from man, and run up and down and meet people left, right, and center to secure something for my nation, right? Oh, if me not secure, it just hurt my feelings, the blood clot. I don't have no idea. I not talk the common people, I talk the thief, the one with the Norman man, the airport. Okay? Because when the cargo plane and they say it land, right? And the amount of things you're missing my people, it hurt me very fucking hard that you different blood clot. If you cut me down, find a drop of blood. Right? For what? Why are we doing these things? No, it's not the time for to teach people things out there for blood clot years. Take a break now, man. A crisis time now. Keep on the sticky fingers to yourself. But you can't do it now. Okay? Because the head of the stream dirty, So the head of the stream dirty, we expect to go on down at the bottom of the stream. We're in a crisis, man. For heaven's sake, man, have a heart, man. For God's sake, have a fucking heart. You dig? We don't even like chat to you because you have some little dirty reprobate who want come on this, come talk, but you don't know some man stepping on the neck. You should have glad some day in Babylon to blood clot because you know me not play dirty nigga. You don't know. I'll go to beat everyone will leave work. You don't know. I want to get my soul, my rank like my wrinkle and dirty to where I'm mad. John, upset man. pull a barrel, and when you pull the barrel half empty, pull the next one, every half stove. The man, I want to come out of the airport with them something there. Somebody answer that and tell me. I want to come out so we on the camera. People are going to work them and work at secure location. We check them bag, look at them car shop.
My God, what a drama. So, as you can rightfully hear, Buju not happy none at all. It's not good. It is deplorable, quite frankly, that people are doing this. Like he said, he know that, certain people have a reputation for doing this sort of thing all the time. But, now is the time to ease off. This is what the man is trying to say. Like, come on now, ease off. Somebody said, remember what Andre was speaking about? There's lots of other examples of this happening on social media. And he's not even talking about just his own supplies that he's sending. It's other people. It's like, listen, right now there is so much stuff that is going into Jamaica. This is what I keep telling you guys, the amount of help that Jamaica is getting. If y'all just sit back and relax, the people will get the help. There's the international organizations, regional organizations. Everyone is trying to come to Jamaica's aid. For such a small country, I can tell you the response has been immense. But y'all are gonna, what we say, FAFO, y'all gonna fuck around and find out. You're making it bad for your own people. When the international and regional community gets wind of this kind of behavior, what makes you think that they're going to want to help you, right? Because at some point they're going to be like, this shit not even getting to the people that we're trying to help. It's absolutely ridiculous. Oh my God. Come now, come. And what for? Stealing it for what? These are not the people who are in need, even in Kingston. They're not the ones who got hit the hardest. So they're stealing to benefit and profit for themselves, but yet helping their own fellow Jamaicans. It does not even make any logical sense. My God. No, sir. I don't know what to say. This defies logic. It's like stupid. Good morning, caller.
Morning from the bluff, Sandra. Me and the cats are listening.
Morning, honey child. Right, yes, sir. Can you believe this foolishness?
This is horrible. This is really horrible. But I also want to say this because I don't think it's everywhere that this is happening in Jamaica. It's only like certain sectors.
But it don't make no difference because the airports, the international airports that it's going into, that's where the people them sitting there figuring out how to steal from the containers.
Exactly. And they do it in Miami when we order stuff. You know how much of my stuff I order for sent to Cayman Airways Cargo still never received my $300 and something worth of clothes from Avenue yet? Can't find, but it was delivered. And then Cayman Airways tell me, say, oh, that person there never worked with us. So where my stuff if it was delivered to your address? Anyway, my point about this is, yes, there's a lot of people doing bad things now with all this money, and they got their $150 million as well from their insurance coverage, which is great for catastrophic events. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people are donating to Jamaica, and I watched a video yesterday with one of the helicopters landed on a school field, very rural area out there, and the pleasant part of that was everybody in that community went out and helped them offload the cases of water, and it was a lot, as well as bags of food. They had these like crocosac white bags, which is very sturdy, not plastic that would rip. And there was like a line of people, and they were just passing the bags down. They were bagging them up, stacking them up in a pile. I posted it. It's on my page. I'll send it to you if you haven't seen that one. But I looked at that and I go, well, this is what I said. It is only the stealing, ambushing and all of this that's happening is not happening everywhere. People are still being cordial with the food and the supplies as it's coming in. And I saw that in a video that was posted up there yesterday. And I thought that was really good. And I want people to remember, don't just stop donating to Jamaica because these things are happening. They're going to happen. I understand
But
Boogie
it
Banton's
shouldn't
frustration as well.
it shouldn't be
It
happening.
shouldn't. It shouldn't if there was proper security measures in place. But
I mean,
who's to
this
say the
makes you
security people
listen.
aren't helping that
Well,
as
of course they would have to be, because you know that means a lot of people at the airport are either involved and or just turning a blind eye. And how the hell could you feel secure sending anything to Jamaica?
Yeah, I agree, but you can't still not send stuff.
Well,
because that'll mean that
listen. You know how hard people.
Does.
But you know how hard people work in order for stuff to donate stuff, and to know that thieves are then taking advantage of it. It's hard.
I tell you, you see up on the bluff, Kim and Bracken, the government garbage dump. Next time you come to the Brack, check me and I'll show you where it is. You're going to see trailer homes that were put up there that came in for Paloma that were never utilized for people for Paloma. For some reason, they just got off, or even if they did utilize them, instead of giving them to poor people, they left them up on the bluff to rot away, and each one of them landed cost this country $6,000 to $6,000 from my understanding, from what I could gather. So every catastrophe is going to have an element of loss of food, loss of building, loss of lives as well, everything. So we can't focus on that. We need to focus on ensuring that security is not being what we think they are. That's the first thing we need to do. And I saw that happening really good in that video I watched yesterday, and they had the Jamaica Army there as well, police army, I think they call them, were there ensuring that people didn't go crazy about this helicopter landing in the rural area with all of these supplies. And I think it landed on a playing field that's next to a school is where it was. And I was so happy to see how everybody, the crowds that came,
Boys, you hear me now?
just went there and helped. And nobody was doing what they were doing when Colors was there with heat truck trying to hand out garbage bags of food. And, you know, he said he not going back because he had zinc and different things to bring back, but he was afraid for his life because of all the ambushing, and nobody was there was no unity. It was like all crabs, and that I understand that as well. And maybe psychiatrists will tell you that that's going to happen when people are lacking in food and water and just common supplies and toiletries and stuff to make their lives get it back to some normalcy. They will act desperate, and I can appreciate that as well. But I don't see it happening all over Jamaica. Most of the eastern, is it the east side of Jamaica or the west, which was hit by the hurricane, the west? Yes. So the eastern part, middle to the east of that island, didn't really get sustained as bad a damage as the west did, because I have people in the Brack who tell me their family live on the east and they never had no problems. They moved they still got their house and they're good, they're fine. So, you know, we know this is going to happen. Just doing my point of it is, don't stop sending aid to Jamaica. Don't stop. It is going to happen. Understand there's a percentage of loss we all have to take with making donations, but security is what needs to step up now. The government of Jamaica needs to maybe start to get some good citizens out in the community and make them become what you call temporary police or whatever, or infuse the areas.
I mean, the sad thing about it is most Jamaicans will tell you that this is just how it goes. They just kind of accept that this is what their people do. It doesn't even bother them anymore because they're like, yeah, that's how we stay, you know. Most Jamaicans, when you be like, rotten, how them going on, them stealing, whatever, they're like, boy, that's my people, them. So they have just accepted that their people are a bunch of thieves and no good. Like you said, not all of them. There's a lot of good Jamaicans, but
of course,
Lord God.
Never said they all were nasty people. There's a lot of good people. I mean, look at how much for years we all went to Jamaica and stayed in those homes. I have a picture of me sitting on the front porch with Miss Scott house in Jamaica when my little brother was dying in the hospital. And, you know, from then we've all been going to Jamaica. We've developed family relations. I mean, I have family in Jamaica who was fine during the storm. I have family live in Jamaica. I have Jamaican family, and they were all good, and things were well for them. And I'm grateful. But those that didn't have that or don't even have anybody on the outside of Jamaica to aid them, you know, that's where we need to continue enforcing that security is there for the aid that's coming so that people get the aid. And, you know, personally, I would have hoped that a ton of tents would have gotten into the rural areas right now or the areas that are the worst affected. So people at least who don't have a roof over their head still can get into some kind of covering overnight to keep them safe from rain and elements. That's where I think the Jamaican government has fallen flat its face. I said it on my show. I think every parish should have bunkers built, very secure bunkers that is stocked every hurricane season at the beginning of it with a whole plethora of stuff from water to tarps to tents to, you know, packaged foods that can, you know, ready-to-eat meals or whatever. Stuff that is there that if a storm does hit during the season, these can be dispatched right away from within the parish. You're not really waiting for aid to come on shore. You already have stuff there that can get the people started with some recovery. That's what I would recommend for our government do for Little Cayman, Cayman Brac, in the event the airport crashes and ground in a storm and we can't get any planes to fly in here. And we know we can only get small planes to fly into Little Cayman. They don't have no airstrip. I'm hoping we'll find the money soon for that. Maybe we need up them fees in the finance industry because Sandra, let me say something. I know I'm going off top. Let me say this. I've seen invoices from some of these law firms charging their clients, their billion-dollar clients, $25,000, $250,000 for a government certificate that cost $125. So you tell me why we can't make them pay more money? That way we can build our bunkers and build our airstrip in Little Cayman. All right. Have a good day.
Thank you.
God bless Jamaica and her people. And y'all stop stealing. And stop stealing. Help each other. If I'm going to be Robin Hoods, well, do the right thing. Be a Robin Hood. Steal and give to the poor. All right. I'm gone.
Okay. All right. Let's, the Minister, Honorable Daryl Vaz, responded to this now viral video. Let's hear, folks, what he had to say on it.
But you hear me now? You and me know one another a long time. Thank you for all the efforts for the relief for Hurricane Melissa for the people of Jamaica. But if you have an issue, you can reach me. Give me the information and let me investigate it. To go public on social media and bring the effort into disrepute is not helping anybody.
No, sir.
Give me the details, give me the specifics, and let me deal with it. But I don't rate how you're handling it. So, brethren, do better than that, man.
Brethren.
We have had over 300 and odd relief cargo flights landing in Jamaica from Melissa. And I have never received one complaint from any of the international organizations and charities,
probably disconnected,
much less the governments of other countries. Through Minister Grange, your handlers of the flights were in touch with me from yesterday morning, all day until they got through. So I'm not understanding what this is about.
I don't know, boy. I think that honestly, what's happening here, as is typical with politicians. I hate to say it, especially in a crisis situation. Our government did the same thing. McKeever Bush and the UDP was in charge at the time. You know, they wanted to pretend like nothing was wrong. The UK had the ship right out there, and they're like, no, we don't need the help. Turn back, we're good, or people are good. We're open for business. We're open for tourism. Blah, blah, blah. Is like, what? We need the fucking help. Are you kidding right now? So governments always have an overarching desire to hide the truth, especially during times of crises, to not make it look as bad as it really, really is, because of perception. So Irvlin says, Vaz for move his bumbaclat. I agree that I'm not quite buying his, oh, everything is fine, everything is good. People are saying, listen, it was not just Buju, other people were complaining about it. So just because they did not go to him personally, and you know, somebody said, shut up, Daryl Vaz, social media is the quickest way to expose the crooks them. Listen, governments in general, you don't fix things by pretending that they don't exist. That would do y'all now, right? That's why you can't fix not just the stealing and thievery, but you can't fix abuse in our communities, domestic abuse, child rape, all this kind of stuff, because y'all pretend that it doesn't even exist. Oh, don't tell the international media how bad it is in Jamaica. What? Are you serious? Y'all need to listen. These governments need to get out of the way. No, sir. No, Bobo. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Hot mess. I wonder if we could call. Let me see. I mean, I'm not sure if he has internet access. This is one of our brethren them in Jamaica. All right, hold on. Let's see if we can reach him. This is why we go back to the point. Let the international agencies, who are the experts, who have probably dealt with this kind of thing before, let them deal with it. You know what I'm saying? This attitude of, oh, you know, you meet me and you'll go back a long time and we know each other and just come to me and blah, blah, blah. That smells like a cover-up. I'm not into that, none at all. None at all. Cargo flight dropping off, but they don't know what is expected from each flight. But Buju knows what was coming in. So when it is not delivered, he has the curse. And what do you think the international agencies are going to say? You know what I'm saying? They probably afraid that they get 2 little shots and they're behind if they complain too much. They're not going to say nothing. If 50% of what they send arrives, they just deal with it. So it's not like they're likely to be vocal and speaking out. He claims say that they never complained to him. Well, that don't mean that it's not happening either. I'm just saying. Yeah. My God. Jasara says they feel the pressure because the world is watching. And as rightfully as it should, what Daryl Vaz's message should have been was to his own people: stop the looting, stop the stealing, stop the sexual abuses in the because remember I told y'all the other day, the government issued that the women are now being assaulted in some of the shelters and stuff like that. So he should have sent a message asking the criminals, because that's what these thieves are, who are engaging in this kind of behavior, to please stop it. This is a time for unity, not for you to, I mean, if there was ever a time to pause your criminal behavior, this would be it right now, as opposed to what they're going on with. Good morning, boss. What's going on?
Good morning, Mrs. Hill. How are you?
I'm not too bad. I have you live on the radio. Wanted to ask you a few questions. We were listening to this video.
Please don't
but
do that.
no, man, it's gonna be
you don't have me live.
painless. It's gonna be painless. Yes, you're live.
Hello?
Yes, you're live. Just a few questions.
I'm traveling right now.
We don't have to identify who you are. Let me ask you a question, right? Buju released this video. Don't know if you saw it, but it's been going viral. Where he's like, stuff that's going into Jamaica supplies are being stolen from. And then the minister Vaz said, boy, you're making us look bad. Come to me. Don't put this on social media. What is your take? I mean, you're there on the ground. Yes, apparently Honorable Daryl Vaz said, he hasn't heard any such stories and he don't know nothing about it. Nobody not complaining to him, but if there is an issue, must just come to him and keep it on the down low. Give us an idea of what it's looking like on the ground there in Jamaica. You believe what Buju is saying?
He has no reason to lie. A lot of travelers have experienced this sort of misfortune, for want of a better word. I myself have been a victim, traveling into the island on an aircraft, and when I received my bags, there are items missing. We don't know at what point they went missing, because when you check a bag, you don't see it until you arrive at your destination. So it could happen anywhere.
Right.
But there has always been an underlying feeling that baggage handlers and those who are in close contact with people's luggage will pilfer items.
So in other words, that's nothing new.
Lying.
Yeah.
I don't think, no, it's nothing new. As to whether he should have put it on blast or not, sometimes you have to put it on blast because, it's been happening for so long, and now we are in a crisis situation where these are relief items for people who, some of whom were in dire straits before the hurricane.
Exactly.
So we are in an age of citizen journalism. I say the more we shed light on this thing, the better. So I don't have a problem with him being a public figure. Only amplifies the situation, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Hopefully
it'll stop.
Someone needs to pay for it.
Exactly. Yeah. And the question becomes, how is it that the respective security agencies at the ports of entry, how are they not watching these containers and barrels and stuff like that very, very closely?
You know what? The fish rots from the head. And I think they're turning a blind eye to it because I dare say there's a lot of promotion within. And the people who may be asked to watch the gates once were at the gates doing pilfering themselves. I would like to posit that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, I believe. All right. So listen, you've been on the ground a little bit. I want to ask you a little bit about your experience there, trying to help people because, you're Jamaican, you live in Jamaica, you know the necessity and the need that people are in right now, the severe need. What areas were you able to get into? Were you able to get into the hardest hit areas or where exactly did you go?
Right. So I did not go into the hardest hit areas because it can be a challenge logistically. I know of people who've been trying to get to the hardest hit areas on the ground and they've been in traffic for 6, 7, 8 hours because, the route to get there is 1 or 2 ways and roads are blocked. And everybody's trying to help. There are unfortunately some sightseers who are not really helping, except, they want to go for an Instagram moment. So I've been into the interior of the country, mostly Manchester and parts of St. Elizabeth, Trelawney as well, and St. James. I have family in Trelawney. But what I've noticed is a lot of the high elevation places in and around the cockpit country, they have been hit hard as well. But those communities are pockets. So let's say, for example, a town like Black River, a capital town, it's thousands of residents there. But in the interior, it might be a community with 500 people, 300 people got damaged. Another community with 1,800 people, 800 people lost their roofs. But they're being ignored, not necessarily because nobody cares about them, but because they're so sparsely distributed, it's hard to get to these people. It's easier to get to a town that has a high concentration of people.
Right.
You could land a helicopter on a football field and ask everyone to come. It's not that easy when the communities are smaller and dispersed across a wider area. So me and my team have been focusing on getting to those people, and we've liaised with people on the ground, social workers, pastor in one case, and they were able to direct us to people who were really affected. Some of them were in a bad position before the hurricane. And so we've been targeting those areas.
And tell us how does it work then when you go into those areas? You go with, whatever goods you're distributing. Are you going like to individual households or individuals, or is there like a community leader? How does that part of it actually work, the logistics of that?
Community leader, you hit it on the head. So what we do is, before we make a trip, we try to liaise with someone on the ground in the affected area. So in the case of Maroon Town, which is a community in St. Elizabeth, a compound, where, if you know the history of the Maroons, this town contains descendants of people who ran away from the slave plantations. And they are in an elevated area. We were able to liaise with the chief prior to visiting, and he advised us which route to take to get there. We were coming from Kingston. Some roads were blocked, and he advised us how to get there. And that's how we coordinated that particular relief effort. In another instance, we made contact with a reverend who was actually the chaplain for a police unit. And we were able to get police escort for that particular effort, along with the reverend. And the reverend, being on the ground for a long time, he knew how to get to and who were the most heavily affected people. So that was how we coordinated it. Definitely planning. Definitely not a situation where, hey, let's head out there and see if we can find some people without a roof. It wasn't done like that at all. No.
Right. And when you're dealing with the sort of community leaders, right, do you find then that they are being equitable in how they are distributing the goods within the community?
Yes. Yes, it seems like a fair distribution process, and they have the trust of the citizens. So I remember this particular community we went to, the first person I spoke to was an 80-odd-year-old woman who was the pastor of one of the churches in the community. And she said, the community leader is such a respected person. She respects the ground he walks on. And that was very telling for me. So I think the distribution process was equitable with the communities that we visited. And when I say we, I'm talking about a non-profit organization that I'm a part of, which I don't know if they want it to be.
No. You don't have to give us any details in terms of, but it's good to see that there are a lot of people there on the ground who are trying to help, who are doing their best to assist, in different ways. And there have been some concerns with the safety of some of the people who are trying to help as well. We've seen, quite a few of these people, like you say, they're on social media. We have Andre Stevens. He talked about basically being ambushed. We have, I think it's Kolar's TV. He said that he wanted to do some distribution of zinc and stuff, but he didn't feel that it was safe to do so because, unfortunately, the people are not being... they won't stand in a proper line. They don't want to follow instructions. They just want to grab, and that can be very dangerous when you're handing out certain things like zinc and stuff like that.
Yes. Yeah, so I have not had that experience, but I have heard of it, and I've spoken to some people who have witnessed it. I'm not discounting that it's happened, but what I can say is these are desperate times. People have become desperate after 3, 4, 5 days without food. And when food starts trickling, some people resort to desperate measures. So it's unfortunate when these things happen, but the contributing factors are outside of a lot of the relief effort workers' control.
Mm-hmm.
There are blocked roads. There are whole communities that are decimated. You know, I've spoken to people who grew up in some of these communities, and when they look at the pictures, they're unrecognizable. They're like, where is this? I don't remember this looking this way. So I think a lot of people have gotten desperate, and you know, if you happen to be along the roadway and there's a convoy of 10, 15 vehicles and they look loaded with food, unfortunately, a hungry man is an angry man. You know.
Wow. Yeah. It's going to be a long road to recovery, and it's going to require a lot of patience. And you know, I was saying to someone the other day that it's kind of sad because Jamaica was making such positive strides in terms of its economy, and to have this category of a natural disaster hit, it's going to set it back decades, literally.
Yes, it's a very long road. The good thing, if there is a good thing in all of this, is that the damage was concentrated in certain areas. So traditionally, when we get a hit from a hurricane, it starts in the east and gradually moves west. And this hurricane was out at sea for a while, and when it turned, it was already out west. So, you know, people have been coming in from other parishes that were not badly damaged, and the diaspora has been a tremendous source of assistance. People have actually flown in just to have boots on the ground to assist. They're not just sending resources and money. They're actually flying in so that they can go into the affected areas and assist. And I think that's an awesome thing to happen. You know?
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to continue to actually, you know, support. I mean, Cayman has been doing quite a bit in the international community. So, you know, we'll continue to support where we can.
I think Cayman was the first nation to send a relief
Yeah.
aircraft into Jamaica.
Yeah. We sent 2 planes in that morning. We were the first 2 flights in the day that the Kingston airport reopened. So, yeah. You know, trying to do our best, but it's disheartening when we hear. Yeah, you know, it is disheartening when we hear that there are people there taking advantage of the situation and taking advantage of the people most in need, because nobody in Kingston was severely affected by this. I mean, yes, it's possible they might have family out in those areas, but you know, what sense does it make to steal from containers that are coming in, you know, for people who need it the most? Like, it's disappointing, really.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, listen, we appreciate you taking some time to speak with us this morning. Sorry to put you on the spot, but you know, that's how media works sometimes. But you were such a good sport. Cool. I really appreciate it. And gives us here in Cayman a better insight into some of, you know, the logistics of what's happening on the ground. Now, you had said to me previously that you would advise people to donate to larger, more experienced groups, and not to try to go out there again, sort of on a mission of their own. So there are people here who have hesitations. They're like, oh, you know, I mean, I know about the Red Cross and this and that and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But, you know, there's been the Red Cross and others, even our hazard management team here in Cayman has said, listen, these organizations have worked in disaster zones and disaster areas for years. They know a lot of things logistically that need to happen. So they are encouraging people to leave it to the experts, so to speak. What would you say to that advice?
Largely, I support that. The Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, ODPEM, is the body that is tasked with coordinating relief efforts, accepting donors from overseas, and, you know, boots on the ground recovery efforts. I would suggest that people go to that website, and they should be able to get some guidance on how to proceed. The Lone Wolf mission, though admirable, is not necessarily a good idea, especially for people who are not familiar with the areas that are hardest hit. You could get lost. and even worse with the landscape changing from the hurricane. So if you can go ahead and partner with an NGO, I have seen disparaging comments about some of the NGOs, but the Food for the Poor is an organization I've worked with, and they are very helpful. They know how to do logistics and to get to the affected areas. They're already familiar with communities that were in dire straits, like I said before, even before the hurricane. So they know how to do this. They've been doing this and they do it all the time. Sometimes we have a flood that only affects 500 people. They know how to go in and do what they do. So partner with an NGO like that. If you're on the ground, you can actually contribute by helping to sort items, load the trucks, that sort of thing, manual labor, or even go to the site with them in their convoy and hand out supplies. And that can be rewarding for a lot of people, you know.
Right.
But I would not suggest a lone wolf mission going into affected areas.
All right. And people also, there's a question about, kind of what people need the most to ensure that, we're not sending things that people don't even need, church clothes and all kind of stuff.
Right.
People don't need them kind of things there right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So each need is different for the different communities. I know people who have lost their roofs, they need something to cover their head. Tarpaulins that are in high demand for those people. Other people who didn't lose their entire roof or not at all, but they might have experienced flooding and lost all their clothes. So the needs are different. And this is where the community leaders come into play and the NGOs, because they can better identify how volunteers can support. I've done a few relief missions since the hurricane, and each one was different from the other. In one situation, people were just happy to receive toilet paper. And they were good. They were okay with water. They were okay with food and provisions, but they somehow were appreciative of toilet paper more than anything else. In another community, they needed tarpaulins.
Right.
So it's important to liaise with the people on the ground before you go ahead and contribute. Non-perishable items are always welcome because that's it. They don't perish. So even if they have a glut of it, it won't go to waste. They'll use it down the line at some point.
Right. All right. Well, thank you again so much for joining us this morning, giving us a bit of an insight into, what is happening there. And, I guess continue to keep the faith and help who you can.
Yes. And thank you for your efforts in, shedding light on what's going on and keeping the conversation going about it. In this time of no chewing gum, bubble gum media, it's going to be a 9-day wonder for some people. But real people on the ground will need help beyond 9 days.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. Thank you, my dear. Be safe.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. Have
all
a good one.
To all the people in Cayman. Thank you all for your support.
Appreciate it. Thanks too.
Salute.
All righty.
Okay,
bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, folks. So, trying to always make sure the conversation is relevant and people there on the ground. Jonathan, good morning, sir. How are you? Haven't heard from you in a minute. Says Jamaica's ports have been a cesspool of thievery for donkey years before the hurricane, and there's nothing to indicate that anything will change afterwards. As for the politicians, they think like politicians. They care more about the situation, how the situation reflects upon them than how the criminality itself negatively affects innocent people. Couldn't have said it better myself, honey child. Could not have said it better, Jonathan. Thank you. Strong Wilt says the government is only one person. Some of these Jamaicans like too much handout. They need to try and help the government. Facts. Okay. Strong Wilt goes on to say, Auntie Sandy, big up yourself. Continue to do what you do best. God bless you and your family always. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, it is important for us to continue to have the conversation. And like I said, I also know that the people of the Philippines were hit really hard by their monsoon. And so we're going to be hopefully bringing some coverage to that as well. Someone said Jolene Nelson went over and has signed on with the World Central Kitchen and is doing great things with them over there, feeding thousands of people each day. Not sure she'd want the publicity, but I'm so proud of her efforts. She's a Caymanian? Is she's here, or you said she went over? She was in Cayman? Well, big up yourself, Jolene. Nice. Yeah, I mean, we thank you. All righty. I think we'll go ahead and end the program there. And I will, oh, hold on. Let me see. Oh, I was going to test. Hold on. I'm trying to figure out what's going on still with Instagram. Can't say that I know. Some kind of problem, honey chill. All right, tomorrow is Friday. Barbara G says body cams are needed at all airports whenever the staff cannot be seen. Not just body cams, but I mean, there should be no point in all airports, I agree, where your luggage is not in an area that has camera footage. That's what I think. Not in a secured area. Because yeah, I don't know. It's just, Miami, remember there was a couple of years ago, there was a big sting operation in Miami, same thing. They were there stealing from people. Do you guys remember the one that I showed you? I think it might have been last year, where they're so brave in Miami, yo. Like they were stealing from when you actually walk through security and you take out your stuff and you put in a little bin. I mean, you're literally right there. And there's cameras. And they were somehow putting their hand while they supposedly checking your bag that quick. They're putting their hand in your wallet and look, yeah. First of all, I don't travel with cash like that. Nope. I don't put no cash. I don't travel with no cash. I have a couple dollars to be able to tip people, right? But I put that in now this gonna age me, in a coin purse. The little clip, I put it in there, stuff it all the way in the bottom, clip it, and then I put that all the way at the bottom of my travel bag. So look, yeah, they would be digging like they trying to dig a booger out their nose. They're gonna have to dig for a long time to find that. I make sure I put that way down and deep. So, anyway, thieves everywhere. You can't, oh my God. A liar and a thief go hand in hand, let me tell you. Cameron Brock says security is imperative now for the relief supplies to ensure no tampering and yeah, I mean, I'm surprised that they don't have that in place already because they should know. Oh, yeah, sorry, my apologies. Anyway, RCIPS has body cams out. Oh, did they finally get them? Are they finally in use? That's good. Oh yeah, it's about time. They need body cams and car cams too. Everything. Because God knows. What a mess. All right. All right, so we got Miristar's birthday. She celebrate a birthday today. Let me see who else we got in terms of birthdays. Drugs can be put into your luggage as well. Listen, when you see them barbers stealing from you like that, you don't know what they're capable of. I know I'm not trusting them. Under no circumstances. What a mess. Okay. Yep. It is what it is. Oh, we got a cheesecake recipe here that just showed up on my timeline. What? This one doesn't look healthy though. I'm always looking for healthier options these days. Like enjoy it, but enjoy it with, less calories, more protein. Live Happy says, CMR, what I'm most happy about is that we brought our people home to Point Siena before the hurricane. Boy, that was close. I don't think that they would have been impacted because they were at the center is it Bellevue or something? That's in Kingston, right? So I don't think they would have been directly impacted. But yeah, I mean, it's good that they're home in some kind of fashion. A lot of mess going on Point Siena, so I don't know. Strong Will said, who's the person that got killed in East End? I don't think the police have released a name yet. Hold on. Let me just check. Oh, sorry, my sinuses. I had a little nosebleed just now. Sometimes my sinuses get really, really dry, and I do notice. Mhm. I do notice that sometimes the dryness causes my nose to bleed a little bit. Thursday. Okay. Today is Thursday the 13th. All right. Okay. Lord have mercy. I'm so sorry. I don't think they've named him yet. But what I would say is, let me see, RCIPS. He's not Caymanian. That much I can tell you, because if he was Caymanian, we would have known almost right away. They had an armed robbery. Where was that? On Watercoast Road. Oh God, I know that must be that little place right in the corner. Sudden death in East End. So they haven't yet named him. Poor thing. No name, so we don't know yet, but not Caymanian, evidently. Sorry. With some heavy, yeah, poor thing. You gotta be careful when you're working in these things, honey child. Oh my gosh, you've seen people killed by cars dropping on them heavy equipment, Very sad. All right, no name yet, so we'll have to wait and see. All right, do you guys want to watch a little bit of FRU, the only ones I see with body cam, says KK. Do you want to watch a little bit of Parliament today? Would y'all like to do that, honey chill? All right, let me grab. Oh my God, we didn't do our squats. That's why I'm yawning today. Niggeritis. Setting in because we never did our squats. Get up, get up, get up, get up. Oh, they have a hurricane briefing as well, the government there in Jamaica. And we could also, let me see here. Let's just see. Okay, so we can watch the Parliament. They're on today, right? Oh, the third sitting. That was streamed 1 day ago. No. They were supposed to start? Let me check the media group. I don't see anything. No link has come out today. So I don't know if it's delayed or whatever. But okay. Nothing going on there. All right. So we'll end the show here. Tune in at 5 o'clock, please. Oh, it's 2 p.m. today. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Tune in at 5. Sabrina Speaks is on. And don't forget the Pirates Week celebrations and the district days continue. So go out and enjoy those. Today's Georgetown. Big up my Georgetown fam. all the Georgetown folks. Y'all know how we do it. Make sure you got some good food for me because I'll come and check out the food stalls later on. So yesterday's Georgetown and tomorrow's East End. The two that I normally definitely try to get to, Georgetown and East End. There we go. Georgetown today, Cardinal Avenue. And then tomorrow is going to be East End. And they all start at 11 o'clock until well into the evenings. Yes, honey child, let's do some squats, Miss Barbara, because we never got any in otherwise. So, oh, Lord, I got to tell you, the knee feeling kind of, I got to put some ice on it. Oh, my God. That will happen when you're sitting too long. And I had some nice banana bread yesterday. Oh my God, Miss Stacy made some banana bread that has like no added sugar. The sweetener is the bananas, and it's good. And little chocolate chips. Get the dark chocolate chips. They're healthier for you. But honey child, that was so delicious. I had another piece last night. I was like, yes, sir. This is good. I'd be sending Miss Stacy all kind of recipes. Try this one. Try that one. This one looks good. That one looks good. 650 seats when I set the reminder. Oh, you got a little reminder going. All right. I feel like my bonke on this. What is that? That glute muscle, whatever that runs through the butt, but I feel it right underneath the butt cheek. I need to get somebody to kind of rub that out for me. Give me a good proper massage. But that been hurting on that side. They say that doing a ball roller helps. But I'm gonna need a big ball for that because my bonk is kind of big, you know. I don't know. I might have to Google it to see how best to do it. All right. Let's get to squatting. Let me get my mat to take otherwise on this cold floor. Bring my foot tension mat over. This one is so nice. One of my dolls, I think it might have been Zeus, started chewing on my mat. And it's missing a little piece out of the corner, but it is such a good mat. And it is so comfortable. You guys need these in your kitchen too, you know. You know, when you're kitchen, you're standing up long hours, cutting stuff and whatever. Make sure you're standing on a mat because it's hard floor is not good for you. All right. Hello, Miss Debbie. You gonna join us? Okay. Bonke to have, yeah, strong. Well, gluteus maximus. That's the one I think. But anyway, let's do it. Let's do it. All right. Who's counting for me this morning? Let's get it. And I'll do it a little bit quicker because somebody said, do them quicker, Sandy. Form is important over speed, but maybe quicker is good. I don't know. Let's try it and see. All right. And yeah. Okay. You guys ready? All right. Jiggle it out a little bit. All right. 1, 2, 3. Sandy, the plantain bread tastes much better to me. Which plantain bread? Plantain bread. Ooh, that's a disaster. That's a recipe for disaster, girl. That probably got so many calories in it. Oh my gosh. Plantain. Y'all know I love me a plantain. Love it, love it, love it. So here this headline, according to People magazine. Jeffrey Epstein offered to help Russia understand Trump. Newly released email reveals it is not complex. He said understanding Trump is not complex. The child molester apparently understood him very, very well. And he was going to be an advisor to Russia. It's not complex because Trump not complex. Trump is stupid. I'm sorry. Anybody who follows this man and believes anything he says and supports him in his ideology, that means that you're dumber than Trump, which to me is problematic. And I hate to say that because I've got friends who are good people, except for their love of Donald Trump. And so it makes me question why. And they're not unintelligent, like textbook wise. Something else going on why they find Trump attractive. It makes me I don't want to think about it too hard because then how far we reach, honey child? Oh God. Pulling, holding the stomach muscles, says Richard. Tips for squat. Yeah. That's why form is important. Lord Jesus, have we got to 50 yet? I already feel worn out. Okay, I'm about to stop. Whew. I've had enough. How many was that? Where's my counter? 58. You're supposed to tell me when I get to 50. Y'all are, don't tell her. Make 60. I did 60. Y'all are like, make her just keep going. She'll do more. All right. Yes. Squat a couple times a day. We're going to be adding some other elements to it as we continue to move along. Woo. Yes, my dear child. Oh. Let me see here now. All right. So, yes, honey chill. There we go. All right. So, what else can I tell you? Except I'm wishing you guys. Sophia, you did 50. Good girl. Wish you guys a beautiful day. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. So, yeah, be good until then, okay? All right. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Cold Hard Truth on Bobo 89.1 FM. Cayman's #1 talk show is live weekdays from 7:30 a.m. Never miss an episode again. Watch anytime on CMR's Facebook and YouTube channels for the latest show episodes. Don't forget to follow us online on our social media channels and visit CaymanMarlRoad.com for all the latest news and community happenings.